a good game right now. We're 5 minutes away from kick-off as West Ham United take on Arsenal at the London Stadium. The official lineups will be out in approximately 5 minutes' time. Gonzo, how is oneself?
I am very well, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. There's a cap on my excitement ahead of this game.
Oh,
it's not a very tall one either, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. That's very cryptic. Normally, you sort of let something slip, and you're very disappointed. So you're not very disappointed, but you're not very excited.
No, but it's more in reference to the game itself, rather than sort of giving you a little bit of a clue about the team. My mood from the preview is unchanged.
Oh, I see. Say no more. Well, not for 3 minutes anyway.
Anyway, how are you feeling ahead of the game, though?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've been doing some DIY at home, and I had the David Moyes thing was on, in the background. So he didn't say anything overly sensational.
Was he asked about fan pressure?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it was more, to be fair, it was more in reference to Roy Hodgson than himself. And he just sort of mentioned that he does this. He says what he says a lot. He can't remember West Ham having a sustained period in Europe. He was finding it hard to keep up, to qualify for Europe every season. Fans finds it hard to keep up with the Joneses. He didn't say that phrase, by the way. But that's basically what he was alluding to. There was nothing sensational. There's nothing to dig out of it and find offence at or anything like that. It was very Moyes. It's speaking about Declan a bit as well. And it was very benign interview, actually.
Good. I'll take that, actually, because I was a little bit worried. I thought the fan pressure questions was going to be around what he's currently going through at West Ham. And I did think, to be fair, how's a manager meant to answer that one without annoying people? What could you possibly... If you were, say you're David Moyes right now, and I'm a reporter, so you're under pressure from some portions of the fan base at the moment, David, what's your response to that?
Well, I don't like your line of questioning. What credentials have you got? I'm a football manager. What credentials have you got? You're just a journalist. Move on.
I mean, you could do that one, I suppose. That might go.
I might not do that. I might have a different style. I don't know. I'm yet to do my badges. I've not become a manager yet.
Josh is hoping for Phillips to get a start over Thomas Souček today. Steve is not looking forward to this one. David would like to see Souček bench. Kaiser says without Paqueta, he'll take a draw for this one. Kerry says set us up well, Moyes. Give us a chance. And Nick said he wants to make it 3 out of 3 today. Come on, you Irons. His missus is an Arsenal fan, and she's given it large already.
Yes, indeed.
So
bragging rights at home. Very important.
Yeah. Interesting one. Anyway, right, before we get the lineups in 90 seconds or something, just one point in direction of match bingos. I was hoping Rob Singleton was going to be the live chat, actually. But the match bingo is where you combine bingo with football. You can download the app. It's free to download. The link is in the description below. Please do use that link. It's free to sign up and it's free to play games on there as well. However, if you wish to dabble in the West Ham Arsenal game, it's £2 per card. You get 15 elements that you need to happen in the game in order to win the full house. So you'll be cheering on throw-ins, kickoffs, substitutions, yellow cards, goals scored, the woodwork being hit. There's all sorts of things that you will require to happen in the game ahead of this one. And Robert Singleton, congratulations to Robert, who's one of our subscribers, who yesterday landed one line, 25 quid. I'm unsure which game it was in. I assume it was the Everton Man City one, maybe, because that was a free card. But he told us he's won 25 quid. So congratulations, Robert. Here he is. He's here just listening. But maybe spending his 25.
Spending his money. Sending his 25, Alan Wicker.
Good. Quite right. As well. Anyway, keep getting your thoughts into the live chat. We'll be taking comments a little bit later on. Gonzo, would you like to see any changes from the team that faced Man United?
Yes, I would. Yes, I'm like the chaps earlier.
If I told you Antonio and Paqueta were unavailable to start, what changes would you like to see?
Well, I'd like Phillips in, I guess. Souček dropped. I think I would probably like Johnson at right back and draft Cornet in on the left wing. Let's go with that.
Interesting. I believe, I'll get confirmation soon. I believe Paqueta and Antonio are just unavailable full stop. I don't think Antonio's in the squad at all, which, that was my reaction because I was hopeful that he would be on the bench, and I would have got excited had we seen the starting 11. I was looking to see the bench today. I knew Picard wasn't going to be on it, but I was hoping Antonio would be there, but I don't believe he is, and that was why I was a bit
it's hard to get excited, even if we just brought in one attacker, even if it was a loan or something, it would allow us to, because I don't know the team. I don't think anyone believes that he's going to start with Cornet. So we're going to start the game with one less attacker. That's what we're doing.
Would you like to know the West Ham team?
Yes, let's see if I look silly.
Well, I'll skip the anticipation. It's unchanged from the team that faced Manchester United. So in goal for West Ham is Alphonso Areola, with a back four of Vladimir Soufal, Curtis Zuma, Nea Fagerd, and Emerson. We've got three in midfield of Edson Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse, and Thomas Soucek. We've got Mohamed Kudus on the wing, Ben Johnson on the other wing, and Jared Bowen up front.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say. Which is not very good on a YouTube video. You're in the wrong job, young man. I think realistically, I'm looking for reasons to be excited, and I'm not really finding any. Truth be known, I really enjoy watching Kudus play football. I really do. I enjoy watching Bowen play football, but not like he has been. Recently, just so isolated with not enough attacking players around him. We just don't have enough attacking players. For us to create much, we are relying once again on a fullback playing out of position and a fullback playing in position to sort of get forward. I do believe that Emerson and Johnson are going to be, pretty crucial to us. And that's a sorry state of affairs. It really is. I'm very, very prepared here for a backs to the wall. We're not... I don't know. Do you know what? We're probably going to see sort of auxiliary defender Soucek rather than number 10 attacker sort of Soucek. And having seen number 10 attacker Soucek, I guess I'd prefer auxiliary defender version of him. I don't know, but this is very predictable. This is giving Mikel Arteta nothing to deal with in the final hour. And Mikel Arteta can just carry on and press ahead with what he's been telling the Arsenal team all week, basically. So that they've had a lot of time to prepare for this. It's very, very hard to get excited about this. I think it's the thing, Gio.
I was just a way to say exactly what Carino has just commented. He said, Moyes probably saw the first half against Man U and thought, I'll have some of that, but did not watch the second half. And Mark was my second point, which is two right wingers not playing right wing. There's a possibility he will have Ben Johnson on the left from the start on this one and Kudus on right. I still think he might have done that in order to protect Soufal against Rashford and Luke Shaw. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But ultimately, I think he's looked at that first half against Man United. Thought we did all right there. We played all right, which I agree with.
Yeah.
But we still didn't score a goal. And that was against a lesser team. We still conceded a goal against a lesser team. We still went in 1-0 down at half-time. We played well, but we were still losing at half-time. And we're now playing a better side in Arsenal. And yes, we did do well against Man United. But as Garino said, in the second half, we weren't at the races whatsoever. It was a comfortable win for Man U in the end. When the lineup came out, it's not a surprise, but it doesn't mean it can't be a disappointment. You're allowed to be not surprised, but still disappointed he's not changed anything. It might work, but I feel like he's had when we did the preview, we said, for the first time in a little while, Moyes had some big calls to make, where he often has his 11, and when we're winning, it's easy to pick the same 11 the following week. It's justified. But when you're in a bad run of form, which we are, when players are in a bad stint of form individually, which some are, then you then have to make the big calls. And he had some today. He had coming into this one, he was right back, Soufal versus Johnson. I feel like he's bottled that one. Centre back, he's got Zuma versus Aguerd versus Mavropanos. And I feel like to some extent he's bottled that one, maybe a lesser extent, but he's bottled it. In midfield, he's got Calvin Phillips sat there trying to get into the midfield, and he's looked at it and thought, I'm not going to change that one. And then at the attacking end, he's got Ben Johnson versus Maxwell Cooney. And thought, I'm not having this one. He's basically not gambled, and arguably not gambling is the riskier thing to do in this sort of circumstances. So when the lineups come out, like you said, something at the very start, which was I was looking for something to get excited about, and I think I was a bit like that. I was a bit disappointed that it was predictable. And like I said, when we are winning, I don't mind the starting 11 being predictable when we're winning. But when you're losing, I have an issue when the starting 11 becomes predictable. So,
yeah, it's hard. Look, I'm hoping. I'm trying to inject some positivity into my own mood. Never mind anybody else. But it is difficult. It is difficult when look. He'd be delighted with a draw today, and I guess we probably should be. But there's a fallibility to the plan, which is just sit back, and sit back some more. I mean, we saw some of it yesterday, actually. We saw some of it with Everton, for instance, and ultimately it didn't work. So I would hope I hope he's got something else up his sleeve, but I can't help but think he needs to find a way to get someone close to Bowen. He really does, and I'd find it utterly depressing if I were Bowen or Kudus in this. I'd just be looking around the team, and as well as Emerson might get forward, as well as Johnson can do and try his best, but he is a defender. I'd still be looking around thinking, give me something here. Really, really give me something. Give me some supply lines, something going on here. And I just want to go on to make the point that I've been making, in the last 2 or 3 videos, which is there's 17th in the league table for corners. Not in terms of efficiently, we're bloody good at them. But in terms of who gets the most corners, we're 17th. So this whole thing about getting James Ward-Prowse, well, we're not even utilising him properly because we don't really shoot on goal enough. So obviously we did shoot on goal quite a lot against Man United, and that's a really good thing. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more of the same, but I don't think we're playing Man United. And I'm very, very worried about Kurt Zouma in this game. Very worried indeed.
Right, let's have a look at the West Ham bench then. We've got Fabianski on there. I mean, it's predictable. It's the same bench as last week. You've got Aaron Creswell, Calvin Phillips. You've got Konstantinos Mavropanos and Maxwell Cornet, as well as Danny Ings and Angelo Bona. And then we've got the 2 youngsters, and Oli Scarles and Divine Mubama. That's the bench for the Hammers this afternoon. We'll jump straight on to the Arsenal team and see who we are facing. That's not the Arsenal team. This is the Arsenal team. Arsenal looks like as follows. They've got Raya in goal with a back 4 of Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kiwior. Declan Rice starts in midfield alongside Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard. Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Trossard down the middle in a false 9 position.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. I think Trossard's been in really good form for them. If I was Arsenal manager, I'd probably choose to play him as well. They are lacking a number 9 in that sense, but it doesn't matter. They've got what's his name, Havertz, moving around all over the place and providing some interesting options from attack as well. He can play as a target man because he's quite a big guy. If they want to get balls over, crosses over, so he's that's a really, really good team. We're going to find it very hard, very, very hard today, and I just don't feel we've given them anything to think about.
Yeah. Listen, this is predictable. This 11 from Arsenal, very predictable. When I spoke to Lee 2 days ago, he said this will be the starting 11. He said we'll have Havertz will drop back. He was going to come in. He thought Jesus might be back, but if not, Trossard would come in. So this is predictable. But this was my point. Sometimes it's not a bad thing, but it's when it's a predictable, it's a bad thing. They've got strength all over, but what I will say is they've got a weakness there in Kiwior. And I'll be very disappointed if I see Kudus starting on the left today. I thought he did well against Man U in the first half on the left. But I do feel he's very limited in terms of what he could do and how he could damage Man U, because he was cutting in on his right foot and having to give the ball to somebody else. Well, today, up against Kiwior, I think we've got a really good opportunity to really get at someone there with Kudus. Kudus would win more than his fair share of battles against him. Against Liverpool last week, he played the second half, got booked relatively early on for a tackle on Jota. Never really looked that comfortable at left back. And it'd be interesting to see what Arteta does, because when Zinchenko there, he asks Zinchenko to step into midfield and push Havertz forward. Can he do that? Can he ask Kiwior to jump into midfield? Probably not. So is he going to get Ben White to do it? Probably not. So we're maybe going to see a flatter back 4 for Arsenal today. But if he does ask Kiwior to step in there, it just gives us even more reason to be getting Kudus out on that right-hand side and targeting him. I think there's a weakness in this Arsenal. I think there's one weakness in this Arsenal team. Do I think it's enough to win? Probably not, but I didn't think it was enough to win the other league game as well when we beat them at the Emirates. I didn't think we'd win that one, and we did. So we've shown we can do it this season. but my confidence is quite low at the minute, Gonzo. Right, let's take a look at the bench for Arsenal this afternoon. We've got Ramsdale on there, as well as Cedric and Walters. We've also got Bandiera on there with Elneny, Jorginho, Nelson. We've also got Ranieri on there and Eddie Nketiah. That is your Arsenal bench and Arsenal starting 11 today. Right, Gonzo, shall we jump straight into the bet and get this done?
I think so.
And then we can have a chin wag about the teams and see what everybody else is thinking.
For sure.
What you fancying?
Well, I don't like to do it, but I don't fancy a West Ham win. That's for bloody sure. I know we normally like to do that, and probably the odd deal. So I'll leave that decision up to you, mate. If you weren't here, I'm probably doing a stupid bet. Do you know what? I'm not even sure our words. I think I've had the joy sucks out of me, quite frankly. Not in a good way either. So I think we'd be. Yeah, I think we do well to win this game. So maybe look for the value elsewhere.
Do you think we'll score?
No.
Do you know? I think we will. It's nearly even money for both teams to score. I think we should put that in. I think we've got enough about us. I'm not saying we'll get anything from the game, but I think we'll score. Anything else you fancy? Anyone to have a shot on target or that? Or
well, Bowen will absolutely have a shot on target. I'm pretty certain of that.
You've been dabbling around the Sofa Score app, haven't you?
I'm all up with my stats. We'll come back. This in a couple of days. I'm going to collate today's data.
Right, I'll tell you what's been providing me good value in recent weeks is your goalkeeper making saves. So what do you fancy Areola to make 3 saves, 4 saves?
5 saves.
5 saves. Really? So Arsenal might get 7 shots on target if they're going to score 2.
Oh, that's
if you want 5, I'll go 5.
I'm never thinking down there for dancing. I forgot about the goals. They're not saves.
Say 4.
4. Let's do 4 then. Let's do 4.
Right, we need another couple of things. They're all just still quite low here. We're going to need a card or a scorer or something.
Shot on target from Nafer Gerd. Is it a header included?
No, you can have shot on target and that's fine. That's enough.
All right, okay.
160 quid. If this bet wins, somebody will win £160 cash. We'll tell you how to enter in just a second. The following things needs to occur in order for the bet to land. We need both teams to score in the match. We need Jared Bowen to have a shot on target. We need Nafer Gerd to have a shot on target. And we need Alphonso Areola to make 4 saves. If that happens, one of you win 160 quid. To enter in the live chat, please put the following phrase.
Moyes won't get the Saka.
Moyes won't get the Saka.
There
you go. Get that into the live chat and you're entered into the giveaway should it win. Otter says he's broken his balls getting out in time to get down to this game, so give him some positivity.
I'm really pleased your balls aren't broken. That's positive.
As Josh says, there you go. Moyes won't get the Saka. That's the phrase that pays today. Anyway, Gonzo, you've seen both teams. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Look, I actually do feel we're in a bit of a slump at the moment, and I think we're going to go again. I really do. I think we've got another really good run in us this season. Mm-hmm. I do. So I don't think the season's over. I think there's a big risk. If I were to make a prediction now, it would be that we're going to struggle today, and then and we'll get back on it, and then we'll start to pick up, and we will be in and around the sort of top 9. Getting close towards the end of the season, we'd be able to make a little push for it. I really do. Then what concerns me is we get to the end and we'll have what we had the season before last, where we didn't really strengthen, where by the time we got to Frankfurt, we were absolutely knackered. I make the point again. We are the second oldest squad, the smallest squad, and we've played amongst the teams with the most games. Something has to give with that, and we tend not to make substitutions as readily as other teams. So, but I do. So there's a big risk. There's a risk that these players need to come back. I think with Antonio back, with Paquetá back, I think we get back on the winning trail again. I absolutely think that will happen. However, I also think Moyes thinks that will happen, and for that reason, I believe he's looking at Forest thinking, I'm going to get my boys back for then. And we'll go again, and we'll start winning from that point. And I'm not going to say he's thrown this game. He'll try and win it, but from within the parameters of his own system. Where that is a risk is he is banking on Kudus, Alvarez, or Bowen not getting injured at all this season, and then the other 2 guys coming back. If we do that, I think we're still going to have a good season. I really do. But today, I can't help but think he'd bite your hand off for a draw, and he probably wouldn't mind a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, I think I realised how little I was looking forward to this game yesterday when I had to almost celebrate a Spurs late winner against Brighton. When it came up, saying that Tottenham just scored to make it 2-1 late on in the game, I thought, "Oh, get in! That impacts Brighton." Hang on a minute, this is Tottenham winning here. But I will always put West Ham over anything. So if it means I need Tottenham to win, then come on, Tottenham, beat Brighton, please. And it worked. Then when Forest were drawing against Newcastle, I thought, "Oh, this would be really good for us." And I thought, "Hang on, I'm only thinking this so that we could get beat against Arsenal and don't drop down the league." And I realised yesterday I'd already given up on today to some extent, and it's a completely different set of circumstances. But I remember doing this last season because we're in a relegation battle. You were watching all the other teams and you were celebrating every other team failing to win for different reasons. You were like, "Come on, this is it. And there were some games we were the last one to play and we were going to it, and nobody else around us had won. You're like, right, take pressure off a little bit, win, it's a bonus. And I was a bit like that yesterday. I was thinking that, we could get something today. It's unlikely, but it would take the pressure off. And Newcastle went on to win. The league table comes up at the end of the game, of course. Newcastle are now above us. Brighton are just behind us. And it's hard not to look at it and be like, bloody, this league is close. Chelsea's to play tomorrow night. And we need to stay in there. We need to stay in the fight. And this is a difficult game for all of us, really. I'm trying to focus on the games up ahead, which are more winnable on paper. But I need something from today to get excited for that run of fixtures, Gonzo. Either we play really well and we get a point, or we play crap but we pinch a win. Something that makes me go, "Come on, man, bring on Nottingham Forest next weekend." I need something, because while I was impressed for 45 minutes at Old Trafford, we still lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Prior to that, and as somebody said, it was in the breakfast show we did this morning, I think. The last time we did well was against Arsenal.
Yes.
At the end of the calendar year, which is not ideal.
No, that was the last time we played well. Yes.
Yeah. Right. We've got some comments from you. Get your comments in. We've got one from Oxby says Kudus can get the Zinchenko really bad, but that was before he knew the lineup.
Yes.
Oxby then said, "Oh, that's why Zinchenko's not playing, but Zinchenko's injured." Thank you for £2 super chat. GP said, "Is it wrong to want to see Gonzo's Arsenal?"
Probably, GP. Very wrong. Very wrong. Too early in the day for that sort of thing.
And thank you to Rice and Peas for the 100 arse, who says, "Gonzo, would you rather be Scottish and no one knew?"
I think I pretend to be Scottish.
You pretend to be Scottish anyway. Really.
I do. Thank you for that.
Anyway,
thank you for the 100 arse.
Yes, thank you for the 100 arse. Right, get your thoughts into the live chat. It could be about the West Ham team, the Arsenal team, any big hopes or fears you have ahead of the game, but not your score prediction. We'll keep that, and you can spam Charlie. MJ says, "I want to support Moyes in his team selection, but given the players available, he's put aside not to lose." Negative. Hope I'm wrong, but we're set up hoping to get a draw. When do you know often you'll say? Do you know in the preview we were talking about how Moyes will probably to keep it 0-0 and bring Antonio on? And when you were talking, I was looking at the bench and I was thinking, let's just say we do get to 0-0 on the hour mark. There's not really anything on the bench that we can do. Credit for Ben Johnson, I guess, but it's not. It's more hope than anything else.
I think here's the thing. So we had before the end of the transfer window. I mean, the end of it, we had a little dabble by playing Danny Ings in a sort of number 10 role, if you like, and he wasn't horrendous. Now, I don't know whether we knew that we weren't going to sell him. Maybe there was a plan, and maybe it just, because we sold the others, we didn't sell Danny Ings. But I do think if you're going to sort of completely drain the squad, which is what we've done, to sell, and sell your attackers and don't bring any in, which is what we've done. I think, okay, then whilst it wouldn't be my chosen thing to do, let's carry on at least with just little 15 minutes. Maybe you finish the game with Danny Ings as this number 10. Maybe it becomes our reserve number 10 late on in games whilst Paquetá's not around or something like that, right? But he's not been doing that. He's not practiced that. That just seemed like a one-off thing for that game. I feel like he's biding time for Paquetá to come back. I still think it might be an option. I don't think it's going to be anything that's overly going to frighten Arsenal, but it's maybe something. There are still some attacking players in Maxwell Cornet and Danny Ings on the bench. Can they make a difference? But I firmly believe we're too few. Look, take out the goalkeeper, obviously. I think I'd make the case we've got 8 functional players. and 2 attackers in this. Now, as I say, you may well wish to add Ward-Prowse from his set pieces, but you can't call him attacker. You might want to talk about Emerson, who's going to provide some sort of thrust from left back, but I can't call him an attacker. So I think any additional attacker we can get on would probably help.
Carl says Zuma Kudus on left, Bowen up top, Souček in middle. We need to shuffle up and he won't do it. Teams know what to expect. Moyes will never learn. Paul said it's the most typical lineup since last week. Chris says Head says 4-0. Hart says 2-1 shithouse win. Jonathan is asking, what is Moyes' insistence of not playing Kone? And Phillips and Alvarez would be a better option than Souček and Alvarez. Poor choice once again. Stu says he feels a very underwhelming Sunday afternoon is on the cards. Brian said he'd rather watch you play pinball than watch the game today.
Wise choice, Brian.
Sai says fed up being negative, but it's important to be honest. I completely agree. John says Kudus is going to be the man of the match, while Major says he's more confident of pulling Megan Fox than I am of getting anything out of this game.
Good on you, Major.
Mikey says Ariola will be man of the match again.
No, maybe. Yeah, well, I don't hope so. Actually, I was going to say hope so for the bet. No, I hope we win. But
as long as we win the game, I don't mind who's man of the match really. But I get what Mikey's saying. He's going to be busy. Ariola is going to be busy. Alan says non-defensive players on the pitch. I'm not sure what he means there, but I'm all for respecting opposition. But that's so uninspiring. Maybe it means too much defensive players on the pitch.
Yeah.
Andrew says Kone should be left wing, Johnson centre mid, where Souček is. Johnny looked good at centre mid.
He did. Absolutely.
Doug says I would like one game where it looks like we've got a game plan. Report says Moyes has a plan. Clearly, it doesn't.
I think he does have a plan, Doug. I just don't like his plan, and I don't think it'll work. I think that's the thing, and I think it's a predictable plan.
Hammer 99 said if it's Kudus on the left and Johnson on the right to start, my little positivity would disappear. I do enjoy a home game against top 6 typically, but this side are different. Yeah, I have to agree. And he said Odegaard petrifies him. I agree with that. If I see Kudus on the left, it's going to be a bit. It feels like we've got 2 real good attacking players starting. I think you'd be limiting one of them before the ball's even kicked, which is right. You can score from that. He literally scored against Arsenal, benefiting playing on the right hand side. And thank you very much to Rocco, who put in €5 super chat and said, much love from Croatia.
Much love from the UK.
Gavino says, must Johnson better be on the left, Kudus on the right, at least have one right winger in his best position.
Yeah. It's a shame. Look, I only hope that we start quickly today and at least put them on the back foot a little bit, get the crowd going, give us something, have some shots, have some attacks. I've got to say, I'll see, in the chat, a lot of people are writing about Souček. And I've got to say, I am feeling a little bit down in the dumps about the Souček thing because I'm finding it hard to consider a scenario where he doesn't play Souček. It's feeling like it's undroppable. I'm even looking at it at the moment, thinking, I don't know sure what the point of Phillips was really, if this is what he's going to continue to do. But yeah, you go. My question is answered. He's been as cautious with Phillips as he was with anyone else. When he was saying he didn't start playing Kudus, did he? He said he's not ready for the Premier League. I guess he just does it with everyone. I thought he'd throw Phillips straight in, but I guess he did. But he's taking him out again.
Luke from T Hammer says 6.5% possession for 3-0 loss. You can't wait. Lewis says the only good thing for Zuma today is that Trossard isn't physically superior. But if you get Zuma twisting and turning, Zuma's knee will cave in. For those listening and not watching, there's a laughing emoji placed next to the cave in. He's adding tone, is Lewis. Thank you to Billy Smith for £2. Super chat. Thank you very much. Andrew said, can see a Saliba error today. He's been so consistent, so hopefully this is his slip up. Dean said he's just seen the teams. I think Moyes has decided he's tried Phillips, sorry 2 mistakes, and now he's paying the price already for them by being left out.
I really hope that's not the case. I really hope so. Phillips doesn't need it. Phillips would have been sold not the dream, but he would have been sold a concept at West Ham. And I really, I hope for West Ham and Phillips' sake actually that we can get him playing and get him up to speed.
Imrano says, why would you play a defender over a winger over a striker, and a centre defensive midfielder over someone who doesn't do anything except set pieces?
I mean, you can't already argue with that, can you?
Imagine that as a journalist question. Why are you playing a defender on the wing and a winger up front?
Yeah.
just to see what he says. Hammer99 says Dinos deserves a shirt over Zuma. I get he's the captain, but what other reason is he in there for? Lacks mobility and technique. And craps himself every time.
And lacks captaincy, I'd suggest as well. Right.
Yeah. Shush says you can see Odegaard doing some tricks in the box and winning.
Oh, there's a shout. There's a shout.
Winning a pen. Dylan says Bowen and Kudus are our only attackers again. We have yet to win a game with only 2 attackers, but Moyes keeps doing it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I feel, you know, for him, he needs to win as well. Look, we need to win, and we want to win as fans. For Moyes, I'm telling you, it's going to be. He needs it to get pressure on himself. Well done, Darren, for getting a signal. I'll tell you what, that's the best bit of news I've heard.
But I say, Darren said he's in the stadium. If only they had your phone on deadline day, they could have inputted data onto the FIFA matching system.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I was going to say. Well, first of all, thank you again to Vice P. He says, what realistic manager do you think suits West Ham squad the most? We'll deal with that in other videos. We'll try to keep this one to the game. Otherwise, we'll be here 20 minutes discussing potential managers. Let me just skip down the chat a bit. I'm looking quite far behind. That's what I was going to say, actually, is that Moyes is judged on a lot he does at West Ham. Predominantly, it's what he does at West Ham, understandably so and correctly so. But now and again, something happens away from West Ham, which you sort of judge David Moyes for.
Yeah.
Pablo Final's scoring on Friday night was not a good thing for David Moyes. You know, his first goal for Real Betis, and it was a fantastic goal as well. I don't know if you've seen it. He cut in.
No, I haven't.
Cut in up from the right on his left foot and bent it into the far corner. He ran off, celebrating, smiling. And it's one of them. I watched it. Oh, brilliant. You know, what a great goal. Really pleased for Pablo, which I am. But there is also the element, which is this does not look good for David Moyes at this point, because when we seen him do that at West Ham, and like I said, I'm not saying he's good enough for West Ham, he needed to be sold, but it just didn't necessarily look good for David Moyes at that point in time, seeing Pablo Final score that goal. Fantastic goal it was still, by the way. It was really,
but and again, yeah, we'll go even further. If Fornals gets back into that Spanish squad, it will look even more damning. It has to be said.
Hammer99 said he would have started Finals over Johnson. I think Moyes would have as well. If Finals and Ben Rama were here today, I think one of them would have started the game ahead of Johnson.
Yeah. The trouble is with Fornals is I'm sure he can do that sort of thing for Betis because they won't be playing counter-attacking football. So if they've got a possession base, he's going to get in positions with support where he's going to be able to do it.
I'm aware it's just one goal, but it was a very counter-attacking goal.
I don't see it.
As I said, it was on the break and he just cut in on. Really, but like you don't. It's one of them. It doesn't mean it would have happened at West Ham, but it was just like I said. It's just more. It's bad timing for a manager under pressure when the guy that you couldn't get a tune out of all season goes there, and immediately the former West Ham manager is getting a tune out of him literally overnight.
Yeah, it's a bad look. Definitely.
Harry says should have put Phillips in. He'll be on Odegaard, stopping his probing and feeding Kudus and Jared Bowen. Peter says Marpano should be up top. I think we're probably about 2 games away from that.
That's right.
Liam says, can't wait for us to have 150 passes between us all game, and most of those from Ward-Prowse to Gerd or Areola. Ray said, I got excited seeing the BBC site photo of the guys warming up, including Paqueta. Must have been historical.
Yeah, it must have been.
I know we get accused of clickbait, but that is ultimate clickbait, that is.
What, from the BBC? Yeah.
Yeah, just putting Paqueta there.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to get excited and click on this. Brilliant. Whack him up. I think Dylan's just seen the goal, or maybe he's commenting about it. Maybe he's just going to have a little look at it. Brian said Finals was playing playing right side in the midfield 3, and Robertson the same played on the right for Real Betis. Dark says, how can you go into a game playing for a draw and happy to get a 1-0 loss?
Yeah, look, it was me that I suspected that. We don't know that that's the case. It's just what it looks that way to me.
Anyway, that's it. Keep your thoughts coming into the live chat while you're all here. If you're new around here and you're enjoying the video, please do subscribe and drop a like on it as well by clicking thumbs up. Helps out this video, helps out the channel. So if someone comes onto YouTube and then it's hour or so and types in West Ham Arsenal, this video may be the #1 recommended one. Thanks to you guys. This video is sponsored by Match Bingo. Combining bingo and football. You pay £2 for your West Ham Arsenal card. You get 15 things you need, just like it happens in bingo. As you're watching the game, you may need West Ham to get a throw in, West Ham to take a kickoff, Arsenal to do a second substitution in the game, Arsenal to hit the woodwork, West Ham to score a left-footed goal. it's random. You don't pick it. It's all random. They give it to you. There's 3 prizes up for grabs: first line, second line, and full house as well. If you fancy getting involved, please do download the app. It's free to download and free to sign up. But the West Ham Arsenal game is pay to play for £2 per card, but there is 10 free cards per month on there as well. Myself and Gonzo will tell you in the Nottingham Forest preview which one you can get next weekend to play along. And like I said, congratulations, Robert Singleton. Won money yesterday over on it. Vora says the negativity in this chat suggests we're 14th. Now the cup, incredible. Cheer up, we've beaten Arsenal twice already.
Yeah, well, look, what can you say? I mean, look, I don't think people are negative. I don't think people think we're in 14th. But yeah, it's just hard. It's hard. Everyone's different. I feel a little bit. I try and be positive on a daily basis about West Ham. I really do. But sometimes you get a bit browbeaten by it. But I do, as I said earlier, I do think we still have another run left on us this season, and we can win the game. I just think it's going to be hard, and I think for us to believe we're going to win the game, you have to think that Bowen's not going to be isolated. Kudus going to be in the correct position. Johnson could have a really good game, and so's Emerson. I still think, by the way, that our most important player today will be Edson Alvarez. I think he's going to be hugely influential if we do well.
I actually agree with the poster from a few minutes ago. Mikey, I think it was. I think Areola will be our most important player today.
Yeah.
I do. I think he's good. You're going to require him to pull off a couple of top saves and bail players out, because when you defend for as long as we do, you won't be able to keep them out for 90 minutes. They will have shots on target, and that's where you rely on your keeper. And Areola has done really well this season. A lot of our big wins, he's been really busy. And in some of our wins, he's been the man of the match, as voted by the fans. The fans have voted him man of the match, despite the fact that we scored 3 goals in the game. It's usually the goal scorers get the man of the match, but we've been giving it to our keeper. So I think Areola is possibly going to be our most important player today. But I think Kudus could be the most impactful player, which is scoring something from nothing. Jolinio would like to see Ian Bishop in midfield today. Scott says in ways this does make a lot of sense for Moyes. Arsenal struggle to break down defences, and we've set up with a back 9. Ray is excited to see Johnson being given a chance up top again. I thought he was excellent last time against
He was excellent.
United.
He was. Yeah.
Amber99 said, I don't mind Souček in games like this, whereas defending will be the main asset of his game. He will be vital in both box, particularly with Arsenal playing 4 centre-backs across the back line. And
that's a good point. They will have height in there. So, I get that. I'm hoping, I'm hopeful we can surprise everyone. I really am.
Andrew says, every single game we've been in 6th to put daylight between us and 7th, we failed to win. Hopefully now we move down to 7th. And this was obviously before the weekend started. I know we're 8th now, but prior to any games yesterday, we're 7th. We can win again.
Yeah.
Fluffy said, I think Aguero would be able to prove a point. Would like to see him with Mavropanos at the back more often so they can start to gel together.
Yeah, I think you might see that sooner rather than later. I'm not looking at Zuma and thinking he's got loads of games in him this season. It appears to be, getting worse, really.
Angus said West Ham are a complete paradox of confusion at the moment, which is why I'm prepared for us to give Arsenal a hiding. Gary said we've got no chance. Ram says Bowen's going to score and Kudus is going to get the assist. Antos says no surprises from Moyes then. Any away manager can plan accordingly with David Moyes. I mean, like I said, that's true, but I think we could plan accordingly for Arsenal. There's no surprises from Arteta today either. Scott says, fair point, Areola could be man of match again, though Arsenal is not a very strong offensive team. Major said, Iceland do have a bag of frozen doner meat. It's lovely and better than any kebab shop.
Well, Major, you want to get eating that before you go on your date.
And Brian said he'd just seen a MILF on her phone.
This is in reference, by the way, to our Patreon Naked podcast, where it was a topic of hot discussion. Someone
wanted positivity. I've just clicked on 2 positive. Actually, let's make it 3, a hat trick. Dylan says he adores Alvarez.
Yeah.
Jeff says we're going to win 2-0. Hey, there's some positive
I'd say it's buzzing. We're buzzing now.
Draws. This is semi-positive. He thinks we're going for the set-piece win.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, for sure.
This is positive. Onion says we're going for the draw.
Onion guy, I like
that. Right then, time to get in the third musketeer. Bevo, how is oneself?
I'm good. How are you?
Is that a mug from the kitchen, or is that a paper mug?
No, it's from the
Oh,
kitchen.
sorry, I couldn't see it too well.
I was
Fair
just holding it like that because, frankly, my hand was cold and it was warming up my hand.
Why is the spoon in? Are you having a cup of soup?
We've had this before. He does this.
It's when I do the shows, I make the cup of tea, but I'm always in a rush. And so I just run in and then I stir it here. And then I just leave the spoon in because I'm in a rush. That's all.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to have a brew, I think. I'm going to go have a cup of tea without the spoon, though.
Yeah, all right, too.
Anyway, before myself and Gonzo disappear, Gonzo, what are you feeling for the score prediction? You said 2-0 in the preview, 2-0 to Arsenal in the preview.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with that. I think that's probably what it's going to be. Yeah, I don't want to say I'll take that. I'd love for something different, but it's really hard. I hope, honestly, I hope I get down there, I start watching a game and I'm proven ridiculously wrong, and then everyone's wagging their finger on me on a video later on saying, Gonzo, you were wrong, and that would be great. But yeah, I still think 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I said 2-1 in preview. I'm going to stick with that as well. Just a bit disappointed in the starting 11 and the bench. There's not much on there that inspires me that thinks we can change it. Even if we were winning by a goal, Barkov and Phillips, but who's contributed 2 goals against us recently, there's not much we can change off the bench to strengthen us defensively. We can put Matt Banos on there, but that would include switching to a back 3, which has its own elements of risk as well. So yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal. But anyway, Bevo, I shall be back at half-time, so I shall leave this in your hands. So have fun, and I'll see you in just, I don't know, an hour and 10 minutes or something.
See you then. Thank you
very much.
Thank you, Gonzo. And thank you all for joining. How are we all? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. It's time for the watch along. For West Ham versus Arsenal in the Premier League. We've already done them twice this year. Can we do them a third? We will see. Unlikely, but imagine if it actually happened. A triple over Arsenal. Again, like I say, unlikely, but imagine. But I'll start by asking you your thoughts on the starting 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result today? Let me know in the chat below. While we do that, let's run through the teams in a little bit more detail. Let's also see if the buttons work. As per usual, didn't test them. Too tired, couldn't be bothered. Oh, done that twice. Oh, mate, I'm just the greatest. West Ham lineup as such. Areola starts in goal with, this is a very confusing way because, again, they've just, I think, copied and pasted the graphics, so they didn't change the names around, but it is. Sufal Zuma again and Emerson in defence. Johnson is somewhere. We'll figure that out as the game begins. Probably on the wing. I would suspect on the right wing. That would be my guess, but we'll see how that goes. Alvarez and Souček are in a double pivot with James Ward-Prowse involved in probably the 10, with Kudus on one side and then Bowen up front. Unchanged from Manchester United, and not surprisingly, I think realistically we did well in that game, especially in the first half, which is why I think Johnson will be on the same side he started on the right in that game. And yeah, I'm not entirely shocked, and I would probably agree with it. If I'm in a world in which Mubama is not allowed to start, is my one big thing. If I'm in a world where Mubama is not allowed to start, then this is the lineup I would probably go with as well today. Having said that, Mubama is allowed to start, and I probably would have started Mubama. I know it's a big game for Arsenal, but I'd be starting him already. I think you put him on, you put Kudus on the left, Bowen on the right, you have a fun time, right? That's kind of the idea I would go with. But realistically, for some reason, Moyes has this block when it comes to those sort of players, more youth players. So realistically, outside of that, if you're discounting him, and I guess Skulls, who's also on the bench, then yeah, I guess that's the 11 I would have picked as well. Outside of maybe Phillips. Phillips for Souček is the one big thing. Where's Souček? I can't even see him. Where is he? There he is. My brain was like, he's number 11. Phillips for Souček is the other one I would have thought about, really, if we're being honest about it. Phillips is not in form. He's not match fit. But I said this on the Patreon this week when I was doing analytics with Jack. I think we're just going to have to power through that. He doesn't get match fit until he's match fit, and he doesn't get match fit unless he's playing. So I think realistically, especially when it comes up to, European football time and all that sort of stuff and running towards the end of the season, he's going to be absolutely massively important. So I think Phillips getting game time would help us a lot, despite the fact that he so far has been a walking own goal. I think you do have to start him. But outside of that, like I say, it's probably the 11 I would start as well. I know people say Cornet, but what I can't. I want to believe in Cornet. Having what I saw at Burnley, I want to believe in Cornet. From what I saw when he first joined us, I want to believe in Cornet. From everything I've seen since the injury, I have no reason to believe in Cornet. Not had enough game time, obviously. I'll say it every single time, but it is what it is. Let's have a look at some of these confidence levels. Cyberpunk saying 1, 2, 6, 3, -1, 8, 3. See how 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 5, -1, and then a lot of zeros. Don't know how many. I'm gonna go with gajillion. 50-50 says Lee. Super Sam says is going with a 5. Robin going with a 3. Scott, yeah, that's my opinion. That's my opinion, to be honest with you. But like I say, Moyes has blinkers when it comes to youth players for some reason. -4, -3.14 HDU. Good to see you. Tom also agreeing with you. -3.142987. Big Fat Zero says Ricky's dad. Rams has gone with a 10. Sorry, I got distracted by something. I apologize. Rams has gone with a 10. Wayne saying 10. Deckers is throwing an own goal winning for us. Listen, he struggled against us previously. Will he struggle against us again? That's another interesting wrinkle to the game. If we want to draw 7, win 0, says Onion Guy. Andrew is lobbing in also a 0. 3, 5, 3, 1, 5, 5-ish, says Robert. 2, 50-50, 5, we at home, says Lee. 2, 7. I can understand the lower end. I think is where we're at today. For example, Pete sums it up, I think, to some extent. Hi, good to see you, by the way, Pete. Not happy about the lineup. Think we're going to lose this game today. And actually, when you talk about the lineup, when we did the poll earlier, which I did do, I just didn't click on the thing to tell everyone it was there because, to be frankly, I couldn't be asked. How do you feel about the starting 11? 55% of people said they disliked it. 55% of people said they disliked it. 5% of people said they loved it. 17% said they hate it. 21% said they liked it. And 54 to 55% said they disliked it. Which makes sense, like I say, and that bears out in the confidence levels, right? That bears out in the confidence levels. I'm more confident than the chat would be in general. But when I look at it, it's not like I can't disagree with that. It's not like I can't see where they're coming from. It's not like I can't understand that. The bench is Fabianski, Cresswell, Phillips, Mavropanos, Cornet, Ings, Ogbonna, Mubama, and Scarles. So you're talking Scarles and Cresswell being the left options. You've got Cornet on there if you want to go further forward. Scarles can obviously play further forward. Mavropanos and Ogbonna, the centre-back pairing that did so well against Arsenal in that one game. You know, there's options, but not that many. But again, we're in the middle of a situation where we don't have Antonio fit. We obviously don't have Paquetá fit, which is the biggest one of all. It is what it is. It's a more balanced bench than we usually get, but we move. On what evidence do you justify? It's a fair point, Robin. It's a very fair point. If I say I don't have any evidence on Cornet, then what evidence do I have on Mubama? It's a very fair point. It's a very, very fair point. I think the difference between... do you know what? That's a fair point. I think I have more... I think for me, I have more leniency when it comes to him because he's a youth player than I do Cornet, who's supposed to be a senior pro and should be on point. I think that's the one difference, but I think you're 100% right. I think actually if I say I wouldn't play Cornet because I've seen nothing for so long from him, but I say, oh, I would start Mubama up front, but I've seen nothing from him. I guess the other argument would be even if you put Cornet on, you're still playing Jared Bowen up front, and I would prefer to see us play an actual striker up front because that can push people back and then give Bowen and Kudus more space to play in. But do you know what? Fair point. That's 100% a fair point. If I'm being honest, 100% a fair point. Our defense is especially a worry. Our defense is a worry, especially the centre backs. Yeah, Troge, I agree with you. Like, I'm not too. I just don't. Zuma can't move. he just really can't. Like, realistically, I can't. I've always been a little bit concerned about the way he moves, but recently he's just been on a different level. I can't really get my head around it and go, oh, he's going to be running about doing things. It's just not going to happen. Again, I'm a little bit more confident in than most people. I know people think he has a big mistake in him, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but he does have a lot of great traits that he brings to this side. And I think today in a counter-attacking system, it's going to be incredibly important. Like, from a build-up perspective, he's so necessary. But I feel like probably you do, in that from the defensive side of the game, there is certainly a concern there, especially when you look at Arsenal's lineup, right? Arsenal are playing Raya in goal with White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kiwior in defence. Rice, Havertz and Odegaard in midfield with Saka, Martinelli and Trossard. Not the strongest 11 possible, but, well, not the strongest 11 they could possibly play in their squad. However, a very, very strong 11 indeed. And one that has a lot of attacking intent. With Havertz, with Odegaard, with Saka, with Martinelli, and then Trossard running around. I'm hoping Trossard, who is a step down from Gabby Jesus, I think he's a really good player, Trossard. And when they bought him, I was really happy, because I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. It is a step down, and I'm hoping that what we've seen when Arsenal played us previously, where they sort of look a bit lost of what to do, and their front player starts moving around out wide, sort of trying to find those spaces. I hope we can force that again, because it really nullifies them, and we've seen a lot of joy when that's happened. And Trossard is, if anything, even more of a wide player than Gabby Jesus is. And so hopefully what we see with Trossard is him sort of dropping a little bit deeper to get involved with play, which he does a little bit less than get hit to, but then really moving out into wide spaces to try and find space. Because if they vacate that middle where there's a striker, where the striker could and should be, then that's a beautiful situation for us. A very, very beautiful situation for us. Will it happen? Probably not. Well, I don't know. It might happen, but it also might be effective. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for when I see this. But it is an undeniably strong start. An undeniably strong team. Their bench, Ramsdale, Cedric, Walters, Bandiera, El Nene, Jorginho, Nelson, Nweri, and Nketiah. Again, like, given they've got some people out, there's some people on there who could do damage. It's a fairly balanced bench, but it's not the scariest bench I've ever seen. If you tell me, oh, they're bringing on Nelson, they're bringing on Nwaneri, if they're bringing on Nketiah, I'm not terrified. That doesn't mean they can't do stuff. They're all very capable players, and I would probably have any of them in West Ham's side very, very happily. But I think they are all step downs from what's starting, which is a positive. But outside of that, look, it's a strong lineup. We can't say anything other than that, can we? It's a strong lineup, and this is a relatively strong lineup, but you can see why the concern would be there. You can 100% see why the concern would be there. Let's play a big game of sub bingo, shall we? That's the game where we predict when David Moyes make his first sub. You don't have to say which player it is, although they are running across the bottom of the screen as we speak, just in case. I'm going to go 69 minutes as per usual, and I will say it will be... I'm going to go 69 Ings for Johnson. Don't know if I believe that. Ings for Johnson, 69, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah. Scariest bench I've seen. You're not wrong. You're not wrong in Collingwood. You're not wrong. It was a terrifying time for us all. Had faith in him when he first turned up. He was big and had a relatively decent reputation, but oh my god! What, after like 2 games, you can't. Can you? Chuck, good to see you again. What a pile of crap we serve up. Really pissed off. Just arrived in Thailand. Still watching this game. Well, first of all, enjoy your time in Thailand, sir. Hope you have a good time. Second of all, I hope it doesn't dampen your day too much, because I feel like it will. We are, of course, brought to you today by Match Bingo. Match Bingo is a beautiful app. Which you can get bingo cards based on the game. This is my one for today, West Ham Arsenal. If you get one line, you win £50. If you get if you get one line, you win £25. If you get 2 lines, you win 50. And if you get the all-important third, where is it? Over there, you get 100. But you can see here, the game, it automatically updates for you, so that you don't have to scratch them out. You just have to claim the money as the game goes on. For example, I need a corner awarded for us. We're going to get that. I need a goal kick taken from us. We're going to get that. From the Arsenal side, I need a throw-in taken. They're going to get that. 4 subs made. That one's a bit iffy on that one, but it's a possibility, certainly, more than it is for us. And 2 minutes of injury time. That top row, for example, for me, very, very doable. It's a beautiful app. Link is available in the description below. It is, of course, technically betting. It's £2 to put to get one on the card, so you have to be 18 plus. But if you do want to get involved, if you do want to check it out, like Geo said, I heard Robert Singleton won money in the last game, which was a beautiful thing. However, go and have a look underneath the video. Link is in there. If you click on that and download it, it helps us out massively. Thank you very much. Match bingo. Right. Look, here's the thing. Good to see you. How's the weather? Hopefully it's nice there. Jonathan, good to see you as well. Here's the thing with Johnson, right? Johnson has played consistently well when he's played. Now, is he horrendously out of position? Yes. Has he played better in his entire career, more out of position than he has probably in his actual better position? Potentially also, yes. I'm not that against Johnson starting. If you tell me specifically Johnson starting, I'm not against it. In the scenario we have, where we have a small squad, and obviously Paqueta is out injured, Antonio is out injured, that forces a situation which vacates the left wing or the right wing, whichever one Kudus is playing in. I'm not necessarily against it. Cornet is the obvious answer. Another youth player would be an answer, although obviously the ones that would step into that role, Marshall and Kadua, are both out on loan right now. I saw an argument for Skulls playing one of them maybe, but realistically, look, I'm not against it. I think he's done well there. I'm taking off the Bele glasses for a split second. I think he's done well enough there to justify it continuing to start. It's not ideal, but then again, literally no option in that role is right now. No option is in that role right now. And I think he's done well enough to justify it. For now. That doesn't mean I have 100% confidence he's not going to drop a stinker. But you see what I'm saying. Putting him back on now. Oh, she's right. Here he comes. And the second he nutmegs Declan Rice, I'm going to be losing my mind. It's unlikely, isn't it? 67th minutes, James Phillips for James Ward-Prowse or Johnson. 75 minutes, Souček for Phillips. Let's have a look. I can see any more. That was my first thought. Ings for Johnson. Yeah. That makes. Look, it just is what it is, isn't it? It just is what it is. 86 minutes, Ings for Zuma, 3-0 down, Moyes gambles for the win. 55 minutes, Areola's good. Areola, I heard the other two saying he's probably going to have a big game. I saw some people in the chat saying it as well. You know, it's a big opportunity. It's a big game for him, a very, very big game for him, and I think it's probably the right one when you look at the Fabianski Areola dynamic. I think Areola playing today makes more sense than Fabianski. Arsenal aren't a side who are just going to try and whip in crosses. If you're looking for a cross situation and maybe you put Fabianski in, I don't feel like that's going to be the case for Arsenal. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. There's lots to think about there, but I think Ariola's going to have a big game. And he's despite everything, he's been in good form recently. 16th minute says Russell. Dexter's gone with 72 minutes. Danny Ings. Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, and as we get closer to the moment of it's how pint of vodka. No, it's water. It's nothing that exciting, you know. Nothing that exciting. Sometimes watching West Ham makes me wish I did drink. Knowing me, it would be a pint because I just eat too much, and so I drink too much. It's just bad, is what I'm saying. It's just bad. 69 minutes, Phillips on for Souček. Hit the like button, as Dan says. It helps us out massively. Because when people type in West Ham Arsenal, we come to top. Do you know what I mean? Listen, we're up against the big dogs today, Arsenal Fan TV and all that. It's one of those days where we're not expecting big things. And so, listen, if you hit that like button, stick around. It helps us out massively. But yeah, it's just... I haven't seen it yet, so I need to get in there and see it. I heard them talking about it at the beginning. I haven't been paying attention. I'll be honest with you. I've been off Twitter, so I haven't really been paying attention. But I need to see it. I love that boy. Let's get on to score predictions. We'll start with Logans, who's feeling a 1-1 draw. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're good. Love them in the chats. No more flipping. No more flopping. We've spoken about both lineups. We spoke about both subs bunches. We've spoken about the problems. We've spoken about the positives, the negatives. We've spoken about it all. No more flipping. No more flopping. No more sitting on the fence. It's time to put them in the chat, and we will lock them in. Phillips needs to get fit higher up the pitch, but Souček won't be dropped. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I agree with you, Troj. I really do think we need to power through with Phillips. I would probably have started him today regardless of that fact. And I feel like the quicker you get him up to speed, the better. And I feel like in order to do that, you have to drop Souček. I, unlike a lot of people, don't think Moyes has this Souček blind spot. Like for example, I think Moyes has a blind spot with youth players. I don't think he will. I think if there is a senior player fit, he will always play them ahead of the youth player. Why? Don't know, but that's just the way he is. With Souček, I don't necessarily think he has this blind spot, but I don't think he's had any other options. So, for example, at the end of the window, when I saw at the end of the window, and then in the sort of week after, where people were talking a lot about what happened and how it all played out, and going, well, we clearly need a left winger. How don't we get a left winger? Blah 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 blah. How did we get Phillips, who's on this much money, and we're paying this much, and this, that, and the other? Here's my opinion on that. We needed another midfielder. I haven't seen anyone say anything nice about Souček outside of me and a very few other select amount of people in a long, long time. And if you think that's the case, then we also needed a midfielder. We've got one in Phillips who obviously isn't fit, but when fit could be hugely beneficial to this team and mildly transformative with his passing, right? With his passing range especially. And if we can somehow get him match fit, then I think there is a situation in which Souček will be dropped. I don't think Moyes has a blind spot with him. I just don't think he's had any options for a long time. And James Ward-Prowse Alvarez double pivot is one of the scarier options. James Ward-Prowse cannot play 6. He just can't. And so in that, we literally have to play Souček. But that predicates on Phillips actually getting fit. And we're going to have to wait a while for that to happen, unfortunately. Because it clearly, very clearly, is not happened yet. Although, you know. Chris saying he feels 4-0 to Arsenal. 3-2 West Ham. Bowen hat-trick. 4-0 Arsenal play backwards players than that. 2-0 West Ham. 3-0 Arsenal. 2-0 Arsenal. 5-0 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal. 3-0 Arsenal. 3-1 to the Cockney boys. Says 3 chains. Nothing like he normally scored for us was more of what bet. Yeah, because Geo said he smacked it from range or something. Cut in. It was on his weak foot as well. It was on his left. I need to go see it. Do you know what would be easier for me to just go and watch it? Can't you get a free t-shirt? I have some around. It's just whether they're clean or not. Because I also wear them, obviously, just in my day-to-day life because they're just around, right? So, like, I wear them and then they get... But I'm so far behind with my cleaning. That's all it is, I'll be honest with you. But it's not a bad shout, Jeff. I should probably do it more often than I do. In fact, I'll have a look at my drawers after. 4-0 says Chris. 4-0 to Arsenal. Who would you have as captain? It wouldn't be Zuma for me either, but I don't know at this point. I'd have to deep sit a little bit more. All my initial reactions are negative as well. So I'd have to think about it a bit more. 2-0 to Arsenal. 3-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-0, 4-1, 2-2, 3-1, 2-0. 2-1 West Ham with a VAR howler in the mix. Says Evan. 2-2, 2-0. Says Jeff, going for the West Ham win. Sat says doing the treble against Arsenal this season is too unbelievable to happen, so I have no faith. I take a draw though. Is it too unbelievable or is it too unbelievable? You know what I mean? 2-1 West Ham back to winning ways. 3-0 to them. 1-0, 2-2, 1-1. 6-9 says P Gads. 2-1 so Iron says Leon. Dean's going 2-1. Never back against us ever, no matter how I feel about the team today. Vibes. Harry saying 4-1. And Bozza going with 1,000-0. It's going to be a big one. But it will also be a big one on the game itself, which is, of course, being shown on Sky Sports in the UK. I am not in the UK. I am in North Idaho, so I'll be watching on the NIITS. I've been, you can see Dean walking about. He's ready. There's a blizzard coming in, but we're going to see what can happen. But there is a timer in the top corner to show you exactly how far behind you I am, because I will be ever so slightly far behind you. Outside of that, though, if you are looking for a way to watch the game, there are definitely ways you can do it. If you scroll down into the link in the description below, there's a bit called Join Our Discord. Lovely Hammers Chat West Ham community. Fans of all clubs are welcome, of course, but more importantly, on the left hand side there's a bit there called Stream Links, in which you will find what you're looking for. West Ham versus Arsenal, is it? It is. It's a big one. It's a scary one for lots of prospects, for lots of different reasons. And I'll be honest with you, I, for one, I'm sort of, in a weird way, looking forward to it. I probably shouldn't, but I am. And we'll have to see how it ends up playing out. We'll have to see how it ends up playing out. But it will be live in a few minutes' time. Like I said, if you haven't already, please do like the video. It helps us out a huge amount. More than you would suspect, if we're being honest. I see a direct correlation between when likes happen and people joining somehow a lot of the time. So it really does genuinely help. I can in a second, GP. I haven't seen it, but you know me, I'll commit. But outside of that, the game is kicking off in just a few minutes' time or a few moments' time. I, of course, will have the timer in the top corner, like I said. I'm seeing if is this going to show it? Would be nice if it did. That was not. And stick around for the entire game, because I'll be here throughout the entire first half. Geo will be back to give actual, thoughtful words in the second, at halftime. Then in the second half, it will be on me again. And then, of course, we have our live match review. All of your match day needs covered right here on Hammers Chat live in the next couple of hours. So stick around, because we have a big game ahead of us. Seeing zooms in on Declan Rice, that's fun. Dean, by the way, if you're aerial at works, let me know. Let me know. I've got something here, but we're in a bit of a pickle with it, but we'll see. As Bubbles is playing out at the stadium, I can't help but be slightly excited by it. Like, I know it's not a great look. It's not a great lineup. It's not great form. There's nothing in me to say. There's nothing in me to say at all that I should be excited for this. And there's something weird about the fact that because I'm not usually like this. For many, many years, I was known as the negative one. I was known as the negative one at Hammers Chat. And yet, for some reason now, I have this bit in the back of my brain that says we've got this and we're going to do it. I don't know what it is. And there is the kickoff. Come on, you eyes. Deploy the boys. It's time to run two things. Breyer getting involved very high up the pitch very early on. Jared Bowen chasing him down. A little slip there as Arsenal try to play their way forward. But yeah, thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. Mine sort of is a bit skipping a lot. Yeah. Arsenal will as well play it out from the back, and we've done okay pressing recently. In the last sort of month or two, we've got better at it. It feels like, not committing madly to it, but just being able to press that back line. And I mean, we've been better at it this season in general. But trying to see where Ben Johnson is starting on the left, so he hasn't gone with. So he's gone with Kudus on the right, which I don't understand why, but he's gone with Kudus on the right and Ben Johnson on the left, which will be interesting to see. Yeah, I wish it was Cyber. I think it's just blind, insane, stupid optimism. I think is the problem here. Good to see you, Alex. Hope you're well. If you haven't subscribed to the Times Podcast, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, there? Well, and best of luck to Ramsgate FC, Lee. Is the big one. Is the big one. Best of luck. I hope she has an absolutely barnstorming performance. For those looking for a link, there are definitely ways you can do it. Oh, we've got the ball back there in a high position. Kudus tries to. He just stutters a little bit. Finds Sufal on the overlap. He tries to cross it in, easily headed away from Declan Rice. There was a moment there where I felt like he could have done something else, but it was just that element of doubt, that little stutter stopped him, and doesn't quite work out. Havertz going forward into the box. It's gonna be interesting to see how that sort of two of him and Trossard getting deeper into our area is going to affect us defensively. That one straight through into the hands of Areola. No stress from Odegaard. That's what it is. Jonathan is bang on. Jonathan is 100% bang on. It is copium and nothing else. And nothing else. Johnson, nice pod. Bones offside there. It's going to go all the way through. He's hit it straight. Raya makes a save, but it was offside. The flag went up early there. I mean, earlier than which I don't know the rules. I'm not going to pretend to understand it, but it was really nicely done. Johnson controls it with his first time off a rogue errant Arsenal pass and then looks to play through Jarrod Bowen quickly. Love that. Love that from us. Getting in behind that Arsenal high line is going to be possible today for someone like Jarrod Bowen. And we saw there, even once the flag went up, he still managed to stay ahead of the player and get a shot off. So it wasn't a good shot in the end, but the fact that he got that opportunity was good. Arsenal playing it around at the back again. We're pressing. Alvarez steps a bit far forward for my liking, but he manages to sort of recover and force it back a little bit. It's going to be a long, long day for Jarrod Bowen and for Jarrod Bowen and James Ward-Prowse specifically with that pressing. It's going to be a long day. Arsenal playing it around at the moment at the back. No real cut and thrust yet. Listen, I would take it all day, King. My liege, I would take it all day, you know? I'd be solemnly here for it. Played forward, with Saka looking to try and ping it in. Offside, thank you very much. We'll be taking that. Right, GP. Where is this? Come on, GP. I'm just going to commit to it without... Do you know what? I'm not even going to read it first, GP, is what's going to happen. Is it wrong to see... Is it wrong to want to see Gonzo's arse? Listen. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. Also, while we're here, thank you to Oxby, Rice and Peas twice for the 100 ARS, which I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna imagine it equates to like £1 billion. So thank you very much, Rocco and Billy as well for the super chats. Massively appreciate. So is it wrong, GP? I would say no. Listen, you live your life, you know. Live your life. 375 likes. Let's go. Easy dubs. We have the ball here. Kurt Zouma under a little bit of pressure. That's where Arsenal are going to want to get in. If Arsenal can nick in there and get a bit of pressure on Kurt Zouma when we're passing it around like that, it's going to probably come good for him. Because he is it's difficult to say about Kurt Zouma because for so long he's been our sort of shining star in defence, but I can't look at him as anything other than a walking mistake at the moment. And when we're in that position where we're sort of passing it around relatively high up the pitch and Zuma's on the ball, if they can get in and press him, he's liable to a bad pass. And even then, the pass to Aguerd there wasn't filling me with confidence. It's a good pass forward there. Glenn, what a guy. First of all, Glenn, legend of the game. Glenn is a wonderful man. I don't know if you... Look, Glenn has been around the watch-alongs years at this point. Years. And he is a wonderful, very nice man. He's an excellent dude. And he's great at YouTube as well, which helps. So subscribe to Glenn if you want to look at what the Arsenal opinion is. You know, there's all these other Arsenal channels. I'm not interested. Glenn's the guy. This worries me more than Liverpool. You're not falling me. I'm familiar with your game. I could see why you would say that. I would say our confidence levels for this game are significantly less than they were last time we played you. Even though we won, if you see what I'm saying. So I feel like you should maybe get a bit of like hope and optimism from that. But I could see why from your angle you would be more concerned. But we're in quite bad form right now. You know, James Ward-Prowse pressing, Rice again, trying to force him back. Saka plays it inwards back to Rice, who's got a little bit of space ahead of him now. Comes forward with the ball out wide to the left-hand side. They're trying to find a nice nip in there from Stufau. Kudus gets caught. I mean, okay, that was somehow a throw. Not really sure how that's worked out, but it is. Kudus again, just getting caught a little bit there on the... Just taking one too many touches. Not too many touches, but being just a little bit slower on the boil. Needs to wake up a little bit. You know, he had that chance up the other end, and here again, it's just been opportunities where it's not quite happened. Saka looks to play a crossfield pass to Martinelli, who's balling. It's interesting. Little scorpion kick thing trying to happen from the goal. Doesn't happen, and that's a corner. That's a corner. Yeah, I can't get on board with any of that nonsense. I understand people's feelings towards Declan Rice, but I can't get on board with any of that nonsense, if we're being honest about it. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Rice is going to take the corner. Big ball to the back. Stick. Headed back across, but Areola collects it. Oh, it's a nice quick throw. Alvarez can't get there, and he's at full stretch. It's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Free kick to Arsenal, and an incredibly yellow card for Edson Alvarez, who's now getting in beef with Gabriel about it. If you want to look, we're already in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got throw-ins from both sides. Free kick from Arsenal, we're in already. It's a nice quick throw from Areola. It was a bit too far ahead of Alvarez, who dived in on Saka. There's no contact, but, I mean, he can't really complain about that being a yellow too much if we're being honest about it. Like, it was a poor throw. It was a reckless challenge. It was a yellow. It's just Edson doing Edson things. Listen, I love him, but it's just Edson doing Edson things. Going to be a free kick to Arsenal, wide on that right-hand side, almost on the touchline, quite deep, nowhere close to shooting position, probably even far for a cross, but they're probably going to give it a swing regardless. Another suspension. His second suspension. We get a bit of a time skip. We're in a vortex here, apparently. There we go. Odegaard finds Saka wide on the right-hand side. Back to Odegaard. Edson gets to him quickly. Oh, it's going to be such a long game with him on a yellow card already. It's going to be such a long game with him on a yellow card already. Rice. Back out wide to Odegaard. Finding that sort of shot from range to flex off an Arsenal player is going to be a goal kick. That's a corner, is it? That's a corner. Okay, sure. Didn't see that. Short to... No, it hit off again. Fair enough. I was convinced it hit off Trossard. No, it hit off again. Shot from range. No handball. I mean, it hits his hand, but it's not handball. You know? His arm's like here. What else is he meant to do? Quick one. Whipped in for the back stick. They seem to be aiming at that back post area. It's interesting when we come up against Arsenal because they always have something in their sort of set piece locker that we don't have, and it's like they think about it more against us. I don't know. Then I would suspect they would because we're quite a simple side, and I feel like North Idaho TV Network's let me down. I feel like there's always an option there, and yet they always sort of seem to do something a bit different. And I'll be intrigued to see how that ends up playing out against us this time because. Each of the three last times we faced them, there's always been something different. Sub Phillips for Alvarez. Look, half time that might be the thing. I think Alvarez would like blue cards. Well, it might stop him from getting as many suspensions, but I tell you what, it would be bad for us. It would be very bad for us. We would be down to 10 all of the time, every game, without fail. We take it short, punt it long. Love the fact the COCOM there just spoke about how teams are going to sit deep against Arsenal because of how they play. Yeah, but we just sit deep, bro. It's just our thing. Come on now. Let's not beat around the bush here. They force us back to Areola. Nice pass forward to Alvarez. Kudus, first time that time wasn't too bad. Souček looking to punt it over the top to get on the back, get them on the back foot. Bowen. He did okay holding his own against Gabriel, who ends up clearing it. It's very well done there from Gabriel, but he did okay. Nice pressing from Jared Bowen. Almost manages to put Arsenal in a really bad position. And we win it. We get through in. We'll take that. We'll take that. No one got red. No one got red. We were just talking about how the fact that Edson Alvarez is a walking red card waiting time. Henners, good to see you. I'm all right. I'm very tired. I got out of bed about 5 minutes before the show started. I'm very tired. I can't lie. I've got nowhere close to my 7 or my 8 hours. About 5.5 or something. Yeah. Kudus collects it from short throw from Sufal. The ball is back at Aguer's feet on the halfway line. Let's just say that. Nice idea for a crossfield diag, but it was inaccurate towards Kudus. Sufal's first time header finds Kudus. There's so many Arsenal shows in front of us. Looking for a quick 1-2 with Sufal not really working out. Get forced back again. When it's in these situations when Arsenal are sitting deep in that sort of low block shape, it's going to be really difficult for us to break them down. We just don't have it in us to break them down. And the quicker Arsenal can get back into that shape, the better, realistically. Because, frankly, it's just we just won't be able to break them down. We don't have the people in the middle to target for good crossing unless Souček can dive bomb in with those late box crashing arrivals. And like the crossing we have been doing hasn't been that good this season. So for us, we need to catch up with our position. Really nice stuff from Jared Bowen. Really good work. Great work, Jared Bowen, dispossessing Declan Rice there. Really nicely done. He just kept hounding, and then a dive in from behind, like hooks around the leg. It's beautifully done. Alvarez looked for the big crossfield switch, backed out of it, ended up playing it to Zuma. We've sort of played through the lines quite nicely here. But then we ended up turning backwards. It just wasn't the option. Johnson was there, but we didn't pull the trigger on it. And again, Arsenal sitting very deep, low block against us right now, which again is 100% the right thing to do from Arsenal's perspective. 82% possession from Arsenal, insane. But it's the right thing to do from Arsenal because it's just going to reduce our options, and we can't break down bad teams who sit block. You know, not to diss Bristol City, but Bristol City are a championship side, right? We couldn't break them down when they sat in it. So from an Arsenal perspective, 100% do the same thing. And we forced it all the way back to ourselves. We've just played it back ourselves all the way to the back. And there's still barely anyone going for the ball from Arsenal. They're just going to wait for us to give them the ball and then go for it. Go on, Johnson. Nice interception. Lovely 1-2. Go on, Bele is back, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not a bad cross into Kudus. Ooh, let's tell you what. It's well defended in the end by Geo. He manages to get in around him. I tell you what, Ben Johnson gets the ball there. Quick 1-2 with Jared Bowen. Beautifully done. Continues his run. And then a first-time cross with his weak foot. It's really nice into Kudus. It's a bit behind him, but it's really nicely done. Go on, Ben. You love to see it. Bele. Let's go. Right, corner for West Ham. Kurt Zuma's in there. Don't worry, we put it into the same position we always do. It's headed away. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, I'm telling you, that top row is possible for me today. That top row is possible. All I need is 2 minutes of injury time, which will happen, and 4 substitutes from Arsenal. Souček went down in the area. It was Ødegaard who was marking him. I don't think it was enough. I'll say this. I don't think it was enough to bring Thomas Souček down. He like, don't get me wrong, Ødegaard's not looking at the ball. He's just there to stop Souček. He swings his arms around. He's got him around him, but I think Thomas Souček, this is very rare for me to say. I think Thomas Souček could have stayed on his feet now. Very rare for me to say that as well. Especially about Souček, but Arsenal managed to find a space for Saliba to steam into. We're still transitioning into defence here. When Arsenal are playing a deeper block than West Ham, you hate to see it. You really do. You really do. Nice pressing from James Ward-Prowse. Gets the ball to Jared Bowen. Kudus is to his right. James Ward-Prowse to his left. He takes the shot from range. It deflects it straight into the hands of Raya. There was no real... The options there were difficult for him, but he probably should have taken one of those instead of just aiming for a shot from range. It felt a bit pointless. Good work from James Ward-Prowse to win that ball, though. We seem to have got the best corner taker in the league and then just told him to do something pointless. And it's so annoying because it's so pointless. Just do. Oh, he's just give him a contract. It's just so annoying to watch because it's like, just put it in the mixer. Like, and the thing is I'm not stupid, right? I understand the differences between like different corner tactics and how, for example, short corners are more effective than just putting it in there. For example, I understand how just lobbing it in there is usually less effective than some sort of routine. Saka just continuing to charge with the ball and then pulls the trigger on a terrible shot, and Areola, if anything, struggles to collect it from going out because it was poor. But anyway. But with us, you know, Alvarez, Zuma, Agard, Souček, just put it in a different position than that. Like, in my head, if you cross it in that space between, say, the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, just centrally, right? With all of those boys running a train, moving into different positions, just putting it into that space seems significantly more likely to score than aiming it at the front post, where despite having an incredible corner kick taker and incredible big men that can header the ball into the net, we're relying on someone just getting a flick on touch to it to end up in the net. And that chance element, although I could see an argument, although I have not got the statistics and I have not seen them, I could see an argument how statistically it might be more dangerous or more likely to result in a goal. It isn't for us. So why do we waste our time with it? I'll never understand. I'll never ever understand. Souček looking for the flick on. Can't get there. Alvarez controls it. Back to Emerson, who's taken down off the ball there. He manages to he gets back up instantly and collects the ball. It's really nicely done from Emerson. And the block from Declan Rice stops the cross. Rice's header goes straight into the feet of Bele. Oh, yes. He's starting to cook. He's starting to cook. James Ward-Prowse, Emerson, Johnson. It's not. The crossing wasn't great, but the rest of it was. Emerson tried something a bit fancy there. He's lost out on the ball to Saka, who's flying through. The NIITS letting me down slightly as it happened. I like that. I think there was an off the ball collision there, which probably could have been a foul. But I like the fact that Emerson just got up and got on with it. You know, very nice. Arsenal have possession of the ball in the halfway line. Yeah, this is a struggle today. It's a struggle. We were lethal from corners at the beginning of David Moyes' reign as well when we had Dawson. I mean, listen, Dawson is a cheat code from corners, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we aim it into a worse area now. Dawson's crossing wasn't bad from Arsenal, but it ends on the head of Trossard, who's underneath it, and it goes ballooning over the bar. Not a bad opportunity. It was a good cross and it was good positioning from Trossard, but he was underneath it. Yeah, we were lethal. We were lethal under Moyes when he first rocked up as well. And listen, like I said, he is a cheat code, is Craig Dawson. But I feel like losing him has made us go, no, we need to aim it somewhere else. Look at the last Arsenal game. We aimed it somewhere else, and guess what? We scored. Mavropanos. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh about it, but the blizzard is in full effect. Nice little play around the back. Good tackle from Edson Alvarez there. Nicely done. Arsenal still have possession of the ball, but it was a really nice challenge. Saka onto Bloody hell, that was close. Bloody hell, that was close. It was dinked back across the goal. Havertz just ducks out of the way of it. And Havertz, sorry, not Havertz, Trossard on the volley. Good save from Ariola. Good reaction save. He looks like he might slow down slightly for Havertz instead. So you know, it's well connected volley and it's a good save. Good save. Going to be a corner to Arsenal. Oh my god, that bottom row is possible as well. Corner to Arsenal. Saka's going to take it. Well, they're doing the corner kick routine they did in the first game against us this season. It's punched away, the one where they all start deep at the back post and then spread across the line, trying to sow. Trossard on the flick on, it's well wide. Trying to sow a little bit of discord in the zonal marking. They start deep and then run across the area into various different positions late. Which is interesting. It didn't work against us the first time, and it hasn't worked against us this time either, but still. I'm incredibly close on the bottom row as well. Incredibly close. All I need is a goal on a minute ending at 6. I need Arsenal to hit the woodwork and it not to score. And then for the first row, I need 4 subs and 2 minutes of injury time. It's dangerously possible. See, I missed that as well. I've solidly just been out of the loop. I don't know. The West Ham space is so... Just you go on Twitter, it's just so toxic and bad at the moment. I just don't want to look at it, so I just basically don't. Me and my girlfriend, we just sit and watch Taskmaster all day. I don't need the stress. I need to go back and see it though, because I do love Sebastian Haller. Played out wide by Odegaard to Saka. He's in the area, looking to try and shift it onto his left foot. The NIITS decides that now's the moment. We've got good people in good positions, and we get the block. Try to play it faster than that, please, 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 please. I mean, he's carried on with the ball. I mean, okay, Alvarez is taking it past people, to be fair. The pass at the end of it all was awful, but he did take it past several people, including Declan Rice, but... Emerson does well. Johnson lays it short to him. Gaining a little bit of a foothold in the game, just a little bit. 7 shots to Arsenal, 1 for us. 3 of those have been on target for Arsenal. Obviously, we haven't had one yet. 66% possession for Arsenal so far today, which is better than it was 10 minutes ago. James Ward-Prowse, nicely done. He's so much better further forward. Finds Emerson, looking for the cross. It deflects. It's going to be going straight into the hands of Raya. We just don't have anything in that final third in those areas. It's difficult because you want to cross, but like with their centre backs, it's just a bit of a. I can't see a situation in which Jared Bowen's are going to win a header. I can't see a situation in which Kudus is going to win a big header against them. You know, with those centre backs, it's difficult. He's having another good game. He's having another good game. I want to see a bit more effectiveness in that final third, but he is having a good game. I think he's done okay so far. Like he was going 50-50 in on Gabriel a lot. They were bouncing off each other quite frequently, which I like to see. And he's been chasing him around. But I agree, it's going to be. Listen, going up against those centre backs is a long, long day for anyone. Let alone someone of Jared Bowen's stature. Let alone someone of Jared Bowen's height and build. You know. NIITS really struggling today. The Blizzard, she's a strong one. Played out wide to Saka. Hit! Deflects. I tell you what. It's going to be another corner to Arsenal. I tell you what, right? For a long time, Saka, short to Odegaard, yeah, takes a deflection off Souček's. For a long time, I felt like we'd lost out on our blocks a little bit. We used to be a team quite good at blocks. Again, Craig Dawson, take a bow. But yeah, we'd lost that for a while. Today, it's back in action. It's fully back in action. Here comes the corner again. They're going to do that late run into the box from a Declan Rice corner. Headed away. Interesting to me they put Declan Rice on corners. Because he's not very good at it. But I guess is he more dangerous in there? I don't know. Maybe he isn't, to be fair. Good tackle. Good work there from Soufal and Kudus. Soufal then loses out the ball to Martinelli, who gets a hand in the face from Martinelli to Soufal. He puts his hand sort of back. I don't think it's purposeful, but his hand does just do that. Oh, Jesus. Didn't actually mean to push him over that time. Stay. His hand does just fully go there, and Soufal goes down. They did well to defend against him. Soufal instantly lost the ball to him quite badly. I'm going to choose that wasn't purposeful for Martinelli, by the way. So I don't think a card or anything is necessary, but it is what it is. It's a free kick. There's no argument about it. Debbie, good to see you. Hope you're well. There's maybe an argument for a Cyberpunk. I can't lie. You might be onto something. I don't like Kudus up front. Kudus isn't a striker for me, but Jarrod Bowen playing right wing could be really helpful for us right now. Could be really helpful for us right now. As much as I don't like Kudus up front. Oh, that's not a bad ball at all. And Martinelli gets a nice control. West Ham on the back foot, charging back. Jesus Christ. The cross in felt so easy to get away, but we just didn't do it. And thankfully, they miss out on the ball. Good work, Jarrod Bowen. Charging in, just getting it back physically. And winning a throw. Winning a throw. Lovely stuff. Good work, Jarrod Bowen. Very good work. Maybe, and hear me out. I know people are going to call me crazy. They're going to say I'm a bit mad. High off my own supply. Belay up front. You know? Bit of Belay up front. Kudus on the left. Bowen on the right. I'm just saying. You know, Kudus on the left, Bowen on the right. You get Bowen involved. Call me crazy. It has. It's going to be a long 50. And it's going to be a long 45 after. Yeah, no, I've stopped. Half my own supply, HD. Half my own supply. I need to stop cooking now. We've stopped cooking. The cooking has stopped. So I'm out of the kitchen. Saka whipped in from Ben White. Souček getting deep, heading that one away. Again, this is another reason why Souček would have to start over Phillips. Another corner to Arsenal. Another corner from Arsenal. There's a poor cross, but it's just there to get a block, and they get it again. Are we going to see the same routine? I think they seem to all be moving towards, congregating towards that back post again. They do have a short corner option there. Keywall's in there. Saliba, Havertz, Gabriel. Going to be running that train from deep. Trossard is just about. Well, Martinelli's there for short option, but it doesn't look like he's going to take it. Declan Rice whips it in. It's 1-0 Arsenal. Header from a corner. William Saliba gets the goal. Oh, that was one of the most basic corners. like you know when you see corner goals, right? And it gets whipped in with some like vicious verve as someone comes in. The Mavropanos one against them was a perfect example where it gets whipped in from James Ward-Prowse with like dip and swerve, bit of swaz, bangs off the header bar and in all that. Declan Rice basically crosses it in the same way I would, as someone who does not play football. And Saliba, completely unmarked, nods it in. Practically on the line. Practically on the line. It's 1-0 Arsenal. Christ alive. Christ alive. Oh, 1-0. I mean, I did do my score prediction. My score prediction was going to be 1-0 to Arsenal. I didn't say mine. I forgot to say it was going to be 1-0. But we'll see. It's almost like if you don't just continuously aim at the front post, you can score headers with big men. It's weird how that works. It's weird how that works. Vidius, you're getting me in trouble, my friend. You're going to get me in trouble here. You're going to get me in trouble. With the people. The answer is yes, but you're going to get me in trouble with the people. I don't need to start that. Not now. Not now. That was awful. I, as per usual, from corners, I hate our corner kick routines, and I hate our and I hate zonal marking. But there we go. There we go. There we go. Where's the splinters? I said yes, HDU. There ain't no. Sorry, I'm getting really worked up about this. I flipping hate this conversation. I said yes. I just know the second I say yes, people are gonna pop off at me. There ain't no splinters. Even if there are splinters, I don't think it's wrong. I hate this conversation so much. I hate it so much. Now's not the time. Anyway, I hate our corner kick routines. I hate our zonal marking. It's so frustrating for me. I get why we do zonal marking. It makes sense, but especially with our huge boys, I get it. But it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Kiwor played in, free header in the box. From Saka. I thought he might have been offside there. It was a good ball in, and he starts on side, and he essentially has a free header. Tell you what, we've got away with a little one there. We've got away that one. Not gonna lie. Alcohol? Yeah, no, I should probably take it up, HDU. I should probably take it up. I'm not gonna lie. What if he, hear me out, Collingwood? What if he's smooth like a Ken doll? Just no belly button whatsoever. Have we thought about that? Play 4 from Arsenal. Nice, easy interception from Agard. And then we play ourselves into trouble. Again, we need to get Zuma off the pitch. He's not having a particularly... I haven't noticed him playing particularly badly, but it's just whenever he gets the ball, it's just so easy just to put a little bit of pressure on him and force him into really awkward positions. Saka through. Oh, flipping hell, that was close. Flipping hell, that was close. It was a beautiful ball through, and Saka finds himself essentially 1v1. He might just be offside, but I don't think he is. The dink over is nice, but he just can't get the... Areola does well to make himself big enough to stop the dink being possible. There you go. It's good. It's good. It's good. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. I almost bought those, like, chicken dinosaur things in the shop the other day, you know? That you'd have as a kid. I was in the frozen aisle. And I saw them. And I looked longingly at them, I'll tell you that much. Saka goes down the area. That's going to be... Oh, he's going to get a yellow for diving. Or is it Areola? No, it's Areola. It's going to be a pen. I thought the way he was moving looked like it was going to be yellow for diving, but it is a pen. Again, we get caught higher up the pitch, as is the way. Saka in behind. It's incredibly close. Takes a touch round Areola. First touch. They'll check the offside. It was very, very close. But yeah, it's clumsy from Areola. It's clumsy. And I'll be honest with you, it's not even like there are certain times where people go down for penalties where they're looking for it, they're leaving a trailing leg or anything. Saka doesn't even do that. It's just clumsy. It's just clumsy, and as long as he's onside, which it looked very, very tight, don't get me wrong, but I believe he probably was onside, then yeah, yellow card, penalty, makes sense. We're looking at VR. It's very close, but I think he's on. Yeah, he looks on to me there. Yeah, Sufal's deeper. Zuma also deeper. Well, it's going to be 2-0. Unless they somehow fluff the penalty. It's going to be 2-0. I like the zoom in on Areola. Oh, sorry, on Sufal. I mean, I know why they're doing it, but you don't get to see them readying the lines for public consumption. And so you just get this like unnecessary zoom in on, here's the guy who did it. Ball gets played over the top. It's really nice play. Really nice ball over the top, and Saka makes a nice run off the last man off him, in between Emerson and again, neither of whom Emerson gets caught completely. Well, just gets caught ball watching. Again, doesn't know he's there, and yeah, he is onside. He looked onside. He is. Yeah, and it's a penalty. Clear as day. Clear as day. So, Saka has the ball. I wouldn't mind if he missed this. 40 minutes on the clock. Saka to take the penalty. Can't look at chat because I know you'll be ahead. Whistle goes. Saka takes a couple of steps back. Some stutter steps. 2-0. 2-0. 2-0. Like I said, 1-0 would have been my prediction, but 2-0, I mean, it seemed unlikely by the time they scored their first that they weren't going to get second. And it's 2-0. Is what it is. Good penalty. Really strongly hit. Sends Areola the wrong way. It's not particularly far over to the right or anything. He's just absolutely hammered it. Yeah, there we go. 2-0. It is what it is. 2-0. 2-0. HDU, I swear to God, I'm going to pop fudge off in a minute. I can't have this conversation at this exact moment in time. I don't want to have the conversation in general because it's Arsenal in the attack. It's gonna be it's good. Jared Bowen's had a long day already, and he's gonna get even longer in the second half. So yes, I want everyone to take it. I want everyone to take notes, okay? Because HDU, master trolling, getting a rise is the key here. It's beautiful work. It really is. Trossard goes down. Free kick to Arsenal. Wide on the left-hand side against Sufal. Get its timer more accurate. It's a couple of seconds off. There we go. Declan Rice to take the free kick. Wide on the left-hand side, just outside the corner quadrant, but it's essentially a deep corner. It's essentially a deep corner. It's going to be another one of those just sort of crosses into the box. Well, it's right at the goalkeeper, and it's 3. It's 3. Gabriel gets the goal. You know, when I get so annoyed at James Ward-Prowse corners, this is why you don't have to do some sort of fancy, stupid stuff. If you have big guys like Gabriel, or dare I say it, Thomas Souček, like Havertz, or dare I say it, flipping Zuma, or Aged, or any of our other massive boys, sometimes if you just put it into the box in interesting, like in just an easy way, it ends up being a goal. Who is that holding him on? Johnson's so far back there. He gets forced back by Havertz and it plays everyone on side. Sometimes just put it in the mixer. That's all you have to do. And they've done it there perfectly. They've just put it into a good area. No stress, no fancy nonsense. They've just put it into a good area. And Gabriel, who's played on side because Ben Johnson gets forced back by Havertz. Just easy. It's just light work. It's just light work. It's just light work. 3-0 Arsenal. It's so annoying to watch our set pieces. How are we this bad at them? Every time I speak to opposition fans, they're like, oh, West Ham are good at set pieces. Bro! How are we this bad at them? Yeah, he got suckered in by Havertz. He was concentrating so much on marking him that he didn't really think about it. Gets suckered in, gets pushed back because of it, and then everyone's on side. Shame, but honestly, that's the way it goes. Stufau, Martinelli having a bit of a thing. Stufau's head's gone, by the way. Stufau's head's gone. Seven minutes of added time. 7 minutes of added time. Congratulations to whoever's won £25. Someone's already won £25 on the bingo. Whoever it is, congratulations. OM, chill out with the language. Chill out with the language. Don't mind you saying stuff, but don't like personally insult people who have a different opinion to you. You know what I mean? Don't mind you having that conversation, by the way. Just to be clear. Arsenal playing it around, whipped into the box, headed away from Zuma. He's actually done something. Imagine the scenes. Kudus gets caught again between like 3 separate people. Thomas Souček back pass to Areola. Big punt forward. Big punt forward. About 30 seconds left of this half. Kurt Zuma headers it to Kai Havertz that time. Please sub off Kurt Zuma. Played short. Hit from Trossard is 4. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, isn't it? It's going to be one of them ones. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? 4-0. I just can't be asked. I just genuinely cannot be asked. It's like what are we going to do? Oh, I was about to scream. At Kurt Zuma. I was about to scream at Kurt Zuma. It's 4-0. So, what's everyone doing for the rest of their day? There's no point watching this. Ah. Ah. sometimes you really do have to wonder what's the point, you know. Oh Christ. Oh Christ. Watching Star Wars now, can't be asked. Sounds big, Gibbo. Can't lie. Sounds like a big time. Sounds like a big time. I can't wait for Geo to get here. I'm just going to leave straight away. I can't be asked for this bullshit. I can't be asked. I think we've not done well, right? Here's what I'll say. I think against Man United, we did well. Despite losing, we did relatively well, especially in the first half, okay? And I think you could get some sort of confidence through that despite playing poorly. I think today, don't get me wrong, have we been playing 4-0 badly? No, probably not. But from an attacking standpoint, we've had nothing. And that's the biggest problem we have with this formation. And the biggest problem we have right now is we have nothing going forward whatsoever. We just don't. And this is why every time in the last couple of games when we've done this, when we did the 4-man midfield against Bournemouth, when we did the game against Manchester United and this, every time I've heard you on the thing go, oh, we're going to score. And I'm like, I just can't see it happening. There's just no way in which I can see it happening. And so having looked at that and looking at this, it's just we've got nothing going forward. The problem is when it comes to what are we going to do? Like, what can we change? There is nothing we can change. There's people leaving already, by the way, which is insanity. But there we go. Which is completely insanity. There are people leaving the stadium, which is actually genuinely insane. When you look at the bench, there's just nothing there to change it. Like I want to say Mubama, but as someone said, why can I not say Cornet but say Mubama, which I think is 100% a fair comment to say. Which is 100% a fair comment to say. I want to say get Cornet on, but he's been rubbish for over a year at this point, so there's no point there. Like, you can't really turn it around. And I feel like we're in a situation where this is just where we're at. And sometimes the way the dice rolls is the way the dice rolls and you get snake eyes. But it's really difficult to look at this and have seen any other outcome other than this. You know? I am a relatively positive person. Okay, when it comes to all this stuff, do I kind of blame him for leaving? Yeah, I can. I can blame him for leaving, but still, that's a different story for a different time. When I've seen West Ham play awfully and I've never left early. Anyway, when I'm a relatively positive person, and obviously, you know, people are literally still right now shouting at me about David Moyes. Like I care! Okay, people are shouting at me right now. Okay. And it's one of those things where it's like, even I was going into this game predicting a 1-0 loss. I looked at it and went, I can't see anything from us. So I couldn't see us scoring, and I couldn't see us getting a result. And if that's the case, and I'm like one of the most positive people around, especially right now as a West Ham, in the West Ham world, the fact that I'm this like, I was this pretty certain that like we were going to lose. You know, I can't help but thinking there's a problem with how you're setting up at that stage. There's just nothing to say apart from that. You know, there's just nothing to say apart from if I'm predicting us to lose 1-0 as a positive human being. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I say, sometimes you roll the dice. Charlie Kerr. Charlie Kerr. See you later, dickhead. Yeah, it's a long one. And it's going to be an incredibly long 45 minutes, I feel like, as well. Gio will be here in a minute, thankfully, to talk through some actual sense, because I didn't have much of it to begin with about what's going on. But, yeah, half-time, 4-0. And let's be honest. I mean, I'm not expecting like an 8 or anything like that, but I'm not expecting us to do literally anything. I'm expecting Arsenal to take their foot off the pedal and just have an incredibly boring second half where they probably get a couple more goals. We struggle to do anything. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's what it is. But still, what can you do? What can you do? We're here now. We're here now for another 45 minutes of fun and frolic. Geo, enjoy halftime. I'll see you at some point, because fuck that. See you later.
And I've never heard Charlie swear ever, even in private phone calls. I expected nothing. I expected nothing today. I thought we'd lose. I say that. I thought we might score a goal in our defeat. I expected nothing, but somehow, I've got even less. Billy, I probably shouldn't quote Billy Connolly as Harley, the most philosophical person in the world, but he said, expect nothing and you can't be disappointed. I expect nothing and I'm still fucking disappointed. That was... I genuinely think it could have been more than 4. I feel like we've almost got off with it only being 4-0, which just sounds ridiculous. But it's how I feel after watching that. Not one player gives a fuck. The tactics are shite. This could be anything Arsenal want in the second half. If Arsenal want to come out in the second half and make this 8-0, they could. They really could. I don't even know what to say. I'm almost speechless. Just fucking dreadful. The worst thing is it's predictable. Arsenal scoring set pieces. Arsenal are good at scoring set pieces. They've been doing this tactic from the back post for a few games now, yet we're defending the fucking front post. What the fuck? Do we not watch other teams in the Premier League? What are we doing? There's just no preparation for this game whatsoever. I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. I'm going to take some of your comments in the live chat, to be honest with you. Badger said it's going to be busy in Westfield. I feel sorry for people that have gone today. I really do. The last thing you want is what you do want is at minimum is the players to try put up a fight. There's not even that. The players can't even be arsed today. I rarely feel the players aren't playing for the manager, whatever. Even when we've been shit under Moyes, I've always felt the players were trying, just weren't good enough. The tactics weren't good enough. Today, Bristol City, it feels like even they can't be bothered. Last Doc said he'd been trying to be supportive of Moyes. It's been difficult, to say the least, but now it feels impossible to support him. Swindon said they're just showing the fans leaving. It's the only way fans can legitimately protest. What a shit show. Pickles say no win is 7. Let's see Moyes' media try and protect him now. Steiden's proven right. Look at our 11 and who Moyes brought in. Well, the guy that Moyes brought in is sat on the bench. I mean, the player starting ahead of Calvin Phillips now is in there for set pieces. We've just conceded 2 goals at set pieces, so we're not even good at defending set pieces. Tracks up said, let's hope the pundits actually give an honest appraisal of the situation at half-time, finally expose Moyes for the fraud he is. Smith's asking why we're surprised. Listen, I don't think anyone is surprised that we're losing or the fact that a hiding was coming. I think a lot of people suggested a hiding was coming, but you can still be upset, even though you're not surprised. I don't think it has to be one or the other. John says, get Alvarez off. I have to agree with that one. I think on a booking, there's no point leaving him on for the second half and risk him getting a second yellow and saying, oh, you've got to take him off. Leo said the sad thing is that Moyes looks lost. Like, what did you expect? Feel the same team against Man U and Arsenal. Are you serious? I don't know what the results of the poll Charlie did earlier were, but I know a lot of people weren't happy with the lineup. George said, doesn't help with everybody being so negative. You can feel it in the stadium and social media. Although we're not the best form going into this one, I don't think it's warranted the meltdown. Well, I think the thing is, though, George, I think the first half has just warranted the negativity. I know people call it negativity, positivity, whatever. I just call it honesty. Fans are just being honest. And if it's negative, it's negative. It's just their honest opinion. It's hard to say that they were wrong. They've been proven incorrect. You know, when we were doing the build-up earlier before the game, and people would say there's too much negativity in the chat. Well, we're 4-0 down. Are those people going to come back and say that everybody was actually right? No. I don't know. I don't know. It's not like people aren't negative for the sake of it. It's just they're just being honest. Sorry, the live chat's going really quick. Thank you very much. For joining us. What is it? Right, where's Somebody just put the poll results. Thank you. 55%, I think it was, didn't like the starting 11. I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised at all. George, I'm going to click on George's comment again because it's his right to respond. There's a negativity before the game has a knock-on effect in the game. I'm not convinced, George. I'm not convinced. I don't think the players are reading Twitter before the game, or watching YouTube, or listening to podcasts, or going around the ground asking people in the concourse what they're thinking. I don't think it is. It's the manager's job. It's the player's job to block that out and get on with it and turn the negativity into positive. All they've done is justify the negativity in the first half. If anything, like I said, I actually think we weren't negative enough, truth be told. I think there was some optimism before the game. Well, I say some optimism. I think I was optimistic thinking we'd only get beat by a goal. That turns out to be positive. I get what you're saying to some extent, George, but I just think after the first half just proves why there was negativity. Ricky's saying Johnson's not playing well. He played well last week, but I get what you're saying. Even though Ben Johnson played well against Man U, in the build-up to this game, I don't recall anybody wanting to see Ben Johnson remain on the wing. Victory says, poor recruitment in January. We should not have left two left mids go and not replace one. It's not on. Infinitely says, this is why Moyes is pushing for a new contract. Moyes out. If Sullivan caves, then sack the board. Simon says that this means the contract talks goes on hold and he'll take it. David says, Moyes out, Suchek out, Sufal out, Zuma out, Ward-Prowse out. Wayne says the worst thing is, next game was, I can't even comprehend that. William says we're lucky this year with the bottom 5 teams. We'll be lucky to get 30 points. I don't think we'll be anywhere near. Maybe I'm being naive, William. I don't think we'll be anywhere near relegation battle. We might finish in the bottom half, but we're not going to get dragged that far down the league. Philip says, not being negative, just know that there's no way back in. Moyes defensive coach and I has no idea how to get them back in the game at all. Plan A to Z is to pinch your goal and keep them out. Well, that's just it. The thing is, the first goal was coming, right? The first goal was coming. They were all over us. For the first 10 minutes, we had 10 minutes of the ball without doing anything. But when it went 1-0, it was hard not to think anything other than, well, that was going to happen. And then second one, and the third one, then the fourth one. But every time they score, there's no surprise. It's, yep, that was coming. Yep, that was coming. And at the minute, I'm almost fearing what the full-time whistles, what the score is going to be. It could be 6, it could be 7-0. I've given up for this game, obviously. I've got to the point where I'm thinking, just take off Alvarez, take off Bowen, take off Kudus, pack up and go home. What's the point in the second half? What is the point? There's just absolutely nothing. Mikey says the last few weeks have been very, very poor with little or no change. It's hard to be positive. I think the majority of us are just honest and realistic. I think so as well, Mikey. I think most people are honest and realistic as well. Anyway, Brian says you stand off a good team, you're going to get punished. It's no surprise. Atcos says his 5-0 Arsenal prediction is looking a little bit shaky. Peter thinks we'll finish 13-14 out of Europe in the next round. Moyes has lost the dressing room. Forest Gate said first half has gone. We're on our way down the table and on our way out of European football. Wonderful things. I'm being optimistic with 7-0. They'll take their foot off the pedal in the second half. I hope. Otherwise, it could be embarrassing.
I think they probably will as well. Like I can't see a situation in which they run up the score to like 8 or whatever. I think it will be 5, 6. But like I think we will probably there's some very basic things we can change that will help us slightly. It won't help us score, but it will help like stop the tide, right? So get Kurt Zuma off the pitch. I don't
Charlie, it's that bad. I'm actually hoping that we hold on for a 4-0 defeat.
Yeah, I know. I think you get rid of Kurt Zuma because he's pointless and doesn't need to exist on a football pitch right now. He's just not doing very well. Stuff like that would help slightly. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other things you could do, but I mean, it won't help us score, but it will at least help the tide come back. And then, yeah, it is what it is. But it's one of those days, Geo. It's one of those days. It's going to be a long one, and it's not going to get any shorter. If anything, the second half's probably going to be even more just boring. We're going to go from atrociously, appallingly awful to we're not good and this is boring, you know. So
Well, if Boring ends up 4-0, I'll almost take it at this point. It's just horrific. This could be God knows what. Honestly, if Arsenal want this to be 7-8-0, they can have 7-8-0. I've got to a point where I'm just like, today's a write-off. We've got to sit through the second half here, but it's done now. And I'm already thinking the best thing to do is just prepare for Nottingham Forest. What's the best thing in order to happen? Well, get Alvarez off the pitch so he doesn't get sent off. Probably take off Bowen and Kudus and rest them. And as much as I am an advocate for playing the youngsters like Mubama and Scarles, not in this game actually. It would be it wouldn't be fair in that. Mubama's maybe a bit different being an attacker. And if you're going to bring Scarles on, he's got to go in a left wing position, not a left back position against Saka when they're 4-0 up and Saka's on the score sheet. It would just be lamb to slaughter stuff. That would, I think, give Calvin Phillips 45 minutes. He's lacking match sharpness. Fine. Well, here, listen, put him on the second half. Why wouldn't you? Just this is now a training exercise for Arsenal, and it's also a training exercise for West Ham. Because there's nothing here now. The game's done. The game's over. Get Phillips on the pitch and get him ready. And try and get him ready for next week. Get Mavropanos on. Protect Kurt Zuma's what's left of his fucking knee. Put Mavropanos on at centre back. Honestly, it's done now. There's no point trying to change the game for today. You're better off changing the game for what could possibly do something against Nottingham Forest next week. It's for half time. The game's fucking finished. I mean, it was finished ages ago, but as we speak now, it's over. Just focus, fucking turn your attention to Nottingham Forest and start thinking what we can.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, like I say, there's nothing. I mean, even if you look at the bench, like, there's no changes we could make that I think would make us more dangerous at this point, really. Anyway, like you could bring on, say, Cornet and just whenever you get the ball, just boot it long. Just have him stand there and just boot it long. Because the one time we did get him around the back, which ended up being offside, was just that quick change of bang bang and you're through. But I think in all honesty, you look at this and I don't think many other teams could do this right against us. To be fair and to be clear, but what Arteta has done is perfectly figured out the solution, which is West Ham cannot break down a low block. So we'll just sit in it. When you have the possession of the ball, when we have had at the beginning, first half of the half, when we were getting a little bit of time and space on the ball, they would just sit in a low block and go on then, try it. And we obviously have no answer because we never had any answer. And that's not because we don't have Paqueta. That's not because we don't have Antonio. Even when we had those players, we really struggled against low block sides. And then when they do get the ball, they're like, all right, well, we'll just go about our business playing how we do, which we know we're going to struggle against anyway. First of all, I said do. Thank you very much. But yeah, I don't think there's many teams who could do this against us. And I think Arteta is one of those people who does sort of try to, tailor stuff to specific opposition. But I mean, it's the perfect way to play against us because it means we literally have nothing.
I just want to say thank you to Simon. He made me smile briefly. He said, it's okay, only 20 minutes left. Then on 65 minutes, we're going to start our attacking brilliant tactics. You made me smile. Thank you very much, Simon. Anyway, I'm off to witness the second half of the slaughtering. What's the fucking point? Honestly, we could score 3 goals in the second half. We'll probably still end up losing 8-3. But anyway, I'm off to watch it, Charlie. I'll catch you in a bit.
All right, in a bit. Thank you, Geo. If you want to hear some actual sense at full time, Geo will, of course, be live then. Until then, we've got 45 more minutes to go. Oh, Christ. Oh, Mavropanos is on. Mavropanos is on. Good luck, mate. I appreciate it. 45 minutes of this to go. If you can help us out, it'd be beautiful if you like the video. We're, of course, sponsored by Match Bingo. If you could download that with the link in the description below, it'll help us out massively. As West Ham get it underway to the second half. Come on, you Irons. Deploy the boys. It's time for two things. Right. I mean, look. Anything other than a repeat of that would be nice. That's all we need. Anything other than a repeat of that. Oh my god, we've made a sub, so I've got my sub on the bingo card. There's Calvin Phillips as well. So Calvin Phillips has come on probably for Alvarez. Yeah, I think he's come on for Alvarez. Nice interception from Mavropanos. Pings it over the top, looking for Jarrod Byrne, and needs to change this. He does well to take on his man. Puts it into a dangerous area, but there's no one there. James Ward-Prowse was arriving at the near post. Kudus was too deep. Arsenal come away with the ball. Mavros plays there, and I believe it's Phillips for Alvarez, which is the correct thing to do as well. Which is a shame, because I don't think Alvarez was playing that badly. I think his yellow card was completely needless, but I don't think he was playing that badly. But realistically... Oh, don't tempt me. I would give anything to see that Italian madman's hair on the pitch. What a guy. I would give anything for it. Also, Valon Barami was a bit of a baller himself, but I would give anything for that haircut again. If you could sub on any player, who would it be? Who would it be? Oh. James Ward-Prowse sort of on the left. I feel like we might have changed to a 4-4-2. I feel like we might have changed to that sort of 4-4-2-ish thing when Kudus is sort of up front with Bowen. Although maybe it's just, a 4. I think it might also actually just be a 4-2-3-1 with Kudus in the centre and James Ward-Prowse on the left and Johnson on the right. Belay's moved over to the right. Ben Johnson's on the right-hand side. And James Ward-Prowse is definitely on the left and Kudus is definitely down the centre. It's just how far forward Kudus is. It might be a 4-2-3-1. Go on, Ben. Holds off his man, does well. It's not a bad cross into the box. It was just a bit ahead of everyone, but it wasn't a bad cross into the box either. Big game. Big game for Calvin Phillips. Good tackle, Emerson. I think he's done relatively okay as well, despite everything. Played into Ben White, dinks it across, easy chest away from Aged. It's going to be a big, long game for Calvin Phillips. It's a big pressure on him today. Headed wide from Arsenal. Big pressure on him today. Obviously, he's coming in. He's not playing alongside Alvarez either, like he usually would be, or like he has done in the past. He's going to have Souček next to him. So it really is going to be him and him only, really figuring it out. Defensively, Souček is good, but from an offensive standpoint, and there's going to be that temptation to maybe play and go forward and stuff. It's going to be a long, long game for him. Thankfully, Arsenal were doing quite well out wide, so he might actually not have too much to do, but... Like I said on Analytics, we're just going to have to power through with Phillips until he's match fit. And until that happens, we can't really do anything apart from just playing him. And so, I know the situation was forced. Obviously, Alvarez on a yellow and everything else. But yeah. Played out wide. Shot from Havertz. Dragged wide. It's for bad reasons. It's for bad. As much as I would like to think all those people who left the stadium have tuned into this, let's be real, it's for bad reasons. But we take it. Like the video while you're here. Subscribe if you're new. We obviously have the match review straight after this. Oh. I walked into the other room at half time. My girlfriend is an Arsenal. Well, her family are Arsenal fans. She doesn't really care about football at all, but her family are Arsenal fans. I walked in and she was like, "How's it going?" And I went, "It's Arsenal 4, West Ham 0." And she just went, "Ah." So, you know, vibes. Are you going to throw something out quickly? I wish. I think I got like 1. There might be 2 max, but I think there's like 1. The people went for it. Critter short to Souček. Finds Calvin Phillips. Looking for that big crossfield diag. Finds Soufal. Who felt like his head was gone in the first half, but it's not in that fun way. I like it when Vlad's head goes and he just starts rocking up, just like elbowing folks. Do you know what I mean? That's the bit when I like when his head's gone there, but it's just his head's not doesn't feel. I don't know. He just doesn't feel like he's I don't know. There's something a bit weird about Sufal the last couple of weeks. I can't put my finger on. I mean, apart from the fact I don't think he's playing very well, that's the obvious part. But outside of that, you know, like with the Bristol City game, he was getting all kinds of just like grabbed and gripped and just thrown around, and I don't know. We just haven't seen that response. Johnson from range deflects. Arsenal come away with it. Just not seen that sort of madness from him that I love to see. We're committing to the press. You can't say we're not. We're committing to the press. It's going to be an Arsenal throw. We went for it. Do you know what I mean? I want him to come out all flipping. I want him to come out like he's ready for a, you know, something, and he's just meek. You know, it's not something I would usually say from him. You know, usually I would go the exact opposite. He's just my trustworthy friend. Hope you're right, Michael. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Souček does well. Passes poor. A microcosm of Thomas Souček there. Does well. It's a bad pass. Listen, okay, hear me out. If we get even remotely close to this, I will get an Uber to deliver me more. Now, my doctor will be strongly against it. But, you know, we're here now. We're here. What's the worst that can happen? I already essentially had a heart attack in the first half. See, this is what I want. I want a bit like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, but I do. But I do. The idea of the pass wasn't bad, but it was just no one reading out from Arsenal. It easily goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, I know. It's just, it is what it is. There are some things even miracles can't save, and unfortunately, I feel like this is one of them. Big boot forward from Mariola from the goal kick. Ben Johnson battles with Kai Havertz. Just comes away with the ball. Heavy touch, just lets him down, but Jarrod Bowen nips the ball off. Declan Rice looks to try and cross it onto his strong foot. Can't find the space to. They're shutting down the space really well for the crosses. Kudus, nice crossfield switch to Emerson. Significantly fast. We don't have to do the usual pass. Just one big crossfield hit. Calvin Phillips looked to do the same there. Instead, plays it short to Mavropanos. With those two specifically on the pitch, we should at least be more comfortable with the ball at our feet. Bowen finds Souček, nice little turn and run. Again, they're just sat in their shape, Arsenal. It's going to be really difficult for us to break them down because we can't usually do this at the best of times, let alone in a game like today. Again, looks to play it over the top. Emerson tries to run onto it. Rare comes and collects. No. It's whatever the opposite. Like I said, meek. Emerson, another good tackle there. James Ward-Prowse out on the left. You hate to see it. Listen, I've got the boots ready. I don't. But I'll just play in my trainers. You know, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I saw Jarrod Bowen slip earlier. It's fine. You're not wrong, Obsidian. And I'm sure there's at least two men in the stadium who will find that somewhat comforting. One of them being the only, the other one being manager. Long ball over the top. Kudus is down, holding himself. I didn't see what happened. Don't know what happened to him. Is it an errant arm into the throat, I would guess? Yeah, I don't think it's a foul. Don't get me wrong. I think he sort of knows roughly what he's doing. I don't think he's aiming to chop him in the throat with the forearm. I think he's just trying to sort of hold him off. And he does it quite forcefully, but not a foul. But it is contact, if you know what I mean. Here's my logic for Ben Johnson up front. Okay, this is the vibe. I just feel like we need people deeper who are better at creating, at doing something, at getting the ball forward. And so if you have out wide Bowen and say Kudus, then that allows them into those areas to get the ball forward more. Now, that does mean you're playing Ben Johnson up front, but he could do it. He could do it, you know? I'm just saying. Not a bad opportunity. Saka holds off. Ariola save. Follow up from someone was poor. Clearance. The only thing was worse. Probably the clearance out and Arsenal come away with the ball. They're almost. The problem with Arsenal is they always try to pass it in. That was very much that. That was very much old Arsenal there, the way they did that. It was a lot of just trying something. Could have been 5. Probably should have been 5. It's really nice play from Arsenal, but he just run into a sea of claret shirts. Just an absolute... Just a wall of them. The shot comes in, saved, and then, yeah, doesn't work out. Might as well at this point, to be honest. Havertz shot blocked again. It might as well at this point, realistically. There's no... Like, in the same way that I'm like, well, Calvin Phillips is unfit. I don't know if Cornet is fit. I just don't think he's very good anymore. But, like, if you're going to give him a try, might as well do it now. Calvin Phillips charging forward. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it now when there's no pressure. Why not? Like I say, just leave him on the last man, and then just every time you get the ball, just boot it at him. See what happens. He'll be offside 9 times out of 10, but that one time he isn't offside. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? We do need to do something on the left-hand side because James Ward-Prowse on the left is just... I mean, I say this like it matters. I say this like it matters. But we do need to do something on the left. Be it Cornet, be it Skulls, I guess. But what Geo was saying, I agree with at halftime about the idea of, you know, trying to bring on the youth players in a team like this. Arsenal are just passing the ball around aimlessly, by the way. Trying to bring on the youth players in a team in a game like this could just destroy their confidence. And it's like, I'm not against bringing them on, but it's sort of something I would be wary of. You could make an argument for Skulls at left wing, I guess, but I think Cornet is the obvious option. Calvin Phillips, foul. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because the truth is, Skulls isn't going to come on at left back. I think Emerson's one of the few players... Well, Emerson, I would say, is having an okay game. So I probably wouldn't sub him off. I mean, you can make the argument to protect him for future games, just rest him. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you do that. Maybe you do that. Who knows? Really? Not me. Arguably at this point, probably not. You know. Oh. There is nothing I would enjoy more than Fortnite at this stage. You know what I mean? Number 1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite. We about to get down. Tell you what, Mavropanos did well there. He basically lost out the ball and then just continued to battle with it to refuse to lose. I like Mavropanos. He has an error in him, but I like him. I really do. I think there's no... I can't see an argument for playing Zuma ahead of him right now, if I'm being honest. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town. That's all I'm going to be able to think about for the entire second half now. It's worse things to think about. Could be thinking about West Ham versus Arsenal. I have not yet. I have not. I want to, but I have not got around to watching it yet. It's out in the country. I think it's out in this country yet. I'm not sure. I know it was out in America like months ago, but I don't know. And I knew it was coming out in March, but I didn't know when. We'll see. But I'm definitely going to watch it at some point. And I think it's one of the few I could probably convince my girlfriend to go and watch because it's A24. So I'm seeing 5-0 on the chat, so I'm just watching it happen now, live, in the flesh. It's like a mystic oracle. You see it in the chat, just your impending doom, and you can do nothing but sit and watch it happen. Played through, Saka on the ball, cuts inside, hits it. Mugs off again, like it's nothing. It's 5-0. It's a really nice finish. It's a really nice finish, to be fair. It's a really nice finish. Actually, this sort of game where I just need to mute the commentator because it's not the vibe I need. But 5-0 Arsenal. Really, really nice finish. Really nice finish. Played through into Saka, who's deep enough to where neither Aged or Emerson are going to step to him. James Ward-Prowse's positioning is awful. It's awful. Odegaard finds him, cuts his side onto his left, past Aged, who's sent for dinner, and then he just slots it home. It's a really nice finish. 5-0. It's not really much. It's not really much to say about this, isn't there? You just go, yeah, really nice finish. Oh, what can you do? What can you do apart from sit and watch? I hope at some point it ends. Could be worse. I have music on now, so I don't have to listen to this. It's awful play. I've seen about 6 now. Ugh. Well, Rene's saying 5-1, so maybe. I think you just love the time vortex that is North Idaho. Odegaard, Calvin Phillips just steps to him there. They're playing around at the back at the moment, Arsenal. That ball was straight through the middle. There was just no one there. That's really bad. Saka plays it onto Havertz. Nice little flick through for White. I think it's glitched in the exact time he's hit the ball into the net. I think that's what's just happened. There's a goal for Arsenal. And Reactions FC, you're welcome. That's all I've got for you right now. All I've got for you right now. It's 6-0. I haven't seen it, but there's a zoom in of right, so I've seen the number 6. Oh, the timing was so perfect. It just rolled towards it just rolled towards him. And it just went click, and it just stopped at that exact moment, and then it clicked off. And there it is. Let's have a look at the replay, shall we? Played short. 2 people leave it. It lands at Declan Rice, who just hits it from range, and he's bent right to the top corner. It's a great goal. It's a really, really good goal. You got to give respect to SG. It's a great finish. It's awful play from Arsenal. I mean, the fact that none of them are touching, but that is an incredible hit. From range, bends it in. Like, a lot of these goals, I can pick out specific moments and specific players, and this is whatever, this is that, but that is an absolute peach of a goal. Fair play. Fair play. Fair play. 6-0. I didn't have just... The cursor was still just blinking over the number, so I didn't even have to do anything. You'll have to see it. You have to see it. And there goes Declan Rice off the pitch. They're going to make a bunch of changes here, Arsenal. I think El Nene was one of them. I think I saw his hair. I think I saw his incredible hair. Yeah, Arsenal bringing in all the changes. El Nene was one of them. I think Nketiah just came on as well. Nelson for Saka. So I think Trossard's come on for... I think we've got Nelson for Saka, Trossard for Nketiah, and then El Nene for Rice, I believe is what it is. Yeah, it is, yeah. So... Nketiah... Nelson... Sorry for the loud clicking right now. And then who was the other one? It was El Nene. Oh... Well, there's one funny thing that's come from this. It's the time that the NIITS ruined Fan Reactions FC's video. Sorry. You won't see this. You only skip to the goals, but sorry. Yeah, I do. I would, you know, me and my girlfriend have been together for like 12, 13 years or something, so probably should at this point, right? I did enjoy how, like, they cut to the crowd, because there was, like, one guy clapping Declan Rice from the West Ham, and there was, like, a couple, and then you just see one guy being like, wee! What are you going to do? 22 minutes left of this, and then we can all go about our lives as if nothing happened. Could be worse. You could be going shopping in North London after this. Oh, wait! I am! Anyway. Christ alive. Odegaard on the ball. Plays out wide. Nketiah lays it short to Nelson. Arsenal trying to find their way through. Oh. Come on, North Idaho, you can do this. No, maybe you can't do this. Maybe you just can't do it at all. Who knows? What's your favourite fast food restaurant? It's a great question. I'm done out here. I'm actually genuinely done out here. What can you do? I don't know. I eat McDonald's most consistently, but is that my favourite? I don't know if it is. You know? I'd make an argument at the moment for KFC. I don't know. How have I managed that? I'd make the argument at the moment for KFC. I don't know if that's... I don't know if... I might just be... I'm just going to say it in a moment, KFC, with my chest out. And what? You know? You know? Suchek dives in there on Martinelli. So maybe a foul. I don't know. They both dived in, but yeah, GBK. I've never been to I've never been GBK. Sorry, GDK. GBK is the other one. I haven't been to GBK either. But I've seen them popping up around, you know, recently, and I keep thinking to myself, maybe I'll make that jump. But Burger King is underrated. I'll say that with my chest out. Burger King is underrated. I back that. Popcorn chicken is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Expensive. That's probably the down point in KFC now. I'm thinking about it out loud. Expensive. Big ping over the top from Odegaard, headed away from Sufal. But it's very nice though. It's very, very nice. Hungry Jacks. Is there any Hungry Jacks in the UK? I don't think so, right? But Slim Chickens. No, I've just remembered what it is. It's Slim Chickens. An incredible shout, by the way, fish chips. Slim Chickens is unreal. Slim Chickens is unreal. Shot from range from Onene straight into the hands of Areola. He ran onto it like Declan Rice in his prime. Did not happen. Did not happen. I like Onene. He's just sort of a bit nothingy, but I like Onene. But yeah, no, Slim Chickens is unreal. We went there when we were in Belfast. We found a place called Slim Chickens, and we tried it. We were like, this bangs. And then all of a sudden, I realized there's a couple in London, and good times, good times. Whenever I'm in Central, because there's one like down New Oxford Street or somewhere around that end. Slim Chickens. Hungry Jack's Burger King. Okay. Do you know what? Thank you, Anthony and HDU. I think I actually knew that in the back of my mind somewhere, but it didn't come to me in a moment. Thank you very much. I've never tried Popeyes, Rabone. I never tried Popeyes. Again, is there one in the UK? I know it's an American brand. Is there one in the UK? West Ham passing it around at the back at the moment. James Ward-Prowse, for some reason, being the man who drops deep to receive it seems like a bad idea to me, but that's fine. Big ping forward from James Ward-Prowse. Doesn't go well. Whenever James Ward-Prowse is in that area of the pitch, it's just bad times. Curtis has the ball. Finds Sufal on the overlap. Looks for the cross. It's blocked. Try ball. It's a bad time. It's a bad time for us all. It's a bad time for us all. But I never get angry. I get angry, but I never stay angry. I like instantaneously my anger dips. So I'm just here now. I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. I would bow to that one and say I would probably lose. However, I'd take the money. I'd take the money. My G, how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. It's fine. MLJ's fine, Michael. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And Ketia, poor shot straight into the hands of Areola. He did not, Russ. He did not. He did like a sort of like lowering the hands to be like, chill out, everyone. I'm not celebrating, sort of thing. And then he got subbed off straight after and clapped the home fans. Why not? He'd be about as proactive. And he's cardboard. There's a joke there about his plans being as two-dimensional, one-dimensional saying, but I can't be asked to make it. Not as far as I know. Although maybe some sort of, maybe prawns, but I don't know. I had like a prawn wonton once, and I felt like my throat was closing up, but I didn't know for certain. And my mum is allergic to shellfish, so I was like concerned that maybe that was a thing. But that's all I've got. Apart from that, pineapple makes my stomach go a bit dicky sometimes. That's all I've got. Aaron Cresswell coming on is an interesting shout. It's a very interesting shout. I guess just save Emerson at this point, but sure. I mean, first free kick Arsenal had without Declan Rice, it was god awful. So that's something. They went another free kick on the opposite side. Do you think Moyes will be out? No. I've got I don't see any see any situation in which that'll happen. Yeah, not after this game. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously the feeling is unbelievably negative right now, and given the game and the result, you'd feel like there's a chance, but I can't see it happening. Just being honest, that's not even a want. That's just being dead straight about it. I can't see it happening. Kudus on a yellow for that challenge. It is Emerson who comes off for Cresswell. If there was ever a substitute that can only make things worse. Private jet is what I'm going to say. And then move swiftly on. Arsenal making yet more subs. Waneri coming on. Oh, someone's won £50. I'm so close. And what's annoying is I'm not going to get there again, even though I'm so close. Waneri going to be coming on alongside someone. Cedric. Ben White and Martinelli coming off. Like, how do you spell it? I'm going to say it's like that. Move on with my life. Right, free kick from the touchline, almost in the corner quadrant, almost in the exact same position as they scored their headed goal from the free kick from. Like, almost exactly, like, inch to the same. Whipped in. That time headed away. They were doing a different routine for some reason, despite the one that's just worked. Who knows? He pays for it, doesn't he? It's Danny. He pays for it, doesn't he? It's really hard to reach that. I don't know why. He pays for it, so it's part of his deal. It's a special green private jet. Doesn't it runs on hopes and dreams? It runs on endless positivity. Christopher, thank you very much for the £2, Christopher. It's very, very kind of you. Choose my food credit. Thank you. I'm very hungry. You can tell because the food chat happened and I was in like a flash. I'm very hungry. Thank you, Christopher. That's very kind of you. You didn't have to do that whatsoever, especially in the circumstances. But it helps out the channel a huge amount. Not just me. It will go towards all of our food cravings. Although I don't know how craving the other two are right now. But I very hungry. That's the one. And then they pop just over sort of like Ohio, and then you just sort of slowly glide in. It's very impressive work. It was what like some people have tried to tell me that this was the plan all along. There was no way that was the plan. Like, they went for it, they pulled the trigger on it, and the fans just went, no. It was incredible to watch, really, in real time, and then figure it out. And they seem to have figured it out. God knows what The Rock's going to do. Could be a triple threat. I was thinking at one point you might get like a night one tag team with Seth Rollins and The Rock, and maybe The Rock faces Seth Rollins. So I don't know. They seem to be, there was the Triple H promo, which could be setting up a Rock versus Triple H thing. I don't know what's going to happen. But watching the U-turn live was unbelievable. It was crazy. Ranieri on the ball. Ranieri, sorry. I keep calling him like Ranieri. Hope you're well, Jamie, by the way. 10 minutes to go. Ranieri. Out wides. Nketiah. Back into Ranieri. Tries to pull it back. There's just so many claret shirts in the way. It was never going to happen. Never happening. Big boot forward. Jared Bowen's still chasing after it. Bless him. Still chasing it like a Like just a man who's just got several children, just endless energy. Odegaard ball through. Waneri, Havertz looking to try and put it onto his... Oh, they're in walk it in territory again. They're in walk it in territory. Shot from range from Onene. Never happening. Second shot from Onene from that sort of range. Never happening, and they probably never will, bless. Alonso's never going to happen. If we were ever going to get Alonso, it was at the beginning of this season. And even then, it was never going to happen. It was unlikely. He's way beyond us at this point, unfortunately. He just is. Alonso's next step is a Champions League club. Like, oh, that's nicely done. Bowen into Kudus. Bele was there. Doesn't quite work out. Jumped. Ooh. Bowen spun, hit it, deflects out for a corner. I would love Alonso, but I just don't see it happening. It's going to be a corner. Bowen and James Ward-Prowse are both standing over it. Jarrod Bowen to whip it in swinger. Into that normal area. We always do, and it's easily collected from Raya, who plays the ball out quickly. Waneri charging down the right-hand side. Kudus gets the cover, or is it might actually be Bele who gets the cover. And Phillips fouls Waneri, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal, basically on the halfway line. Little professional foul from Calvin Phillips there. Remember, Geo will be live straight after this with a full-time review. So you can have some form of valve release. Played forwards. Blocked, dinked back across, goal from Arsenal. The NIITS is just all over the shop right now, but to be honest with you, who cares? Who cares? While I fix this. So I saw someone say, what did I think of the Rock Roman Cody stuff? I think it's insane that they tried to put the Rock in that position after how long they've been building the Cody stuff. I think it's... Okay, we're back. Arsenal passing around just outside the area. I think... Oh, no, it's gone again. I think it's completely insane that they tried to do that. I don't get why they even attempted it. It seemed like such a bad call from the start. And the fact they didn't think it was going to go the way they did is kind of insane to me. I still don't think it's over. We'll get some stuff happen between now and then. Like I say, I'll be interested to see how it all ends up working out. But yeah, just, you know. Fans checking their watches. There's a lot of seats. A lot of seats. David Sullivan's hats seem to have gotten worse over the years, or is it just me? We've just cut to David Sullivan there, and his hats seem to have been got. His don't get me wrong, he's never been a guy that I would describe as having a good fit, but like it seems to have only gotten worse. I don't entirely know how, and yet here we are. Pinged forward. If I get 2 minutes of stoppage time, I will have actually completed a line. It's annoying because how close I was. Someone's also won the £50, so congratulations to whoever that is. But it's annoying. Bless me. Sorry. I went to try and click on the sneeze, but I realised I wasn't going to make it in time, so I just moved. I apologise. Oh, his head has shrunk. Maybe it's that, Mark. Maybe his hat hasn't changed. Maybe it's just his head's got smaller. Maybe. Who knows? None. There'll be none. There'll be none. He's here to the end of the season. No one can convince me otherwise. Unless we went on some insane losing streak from here onwards. He's here to the end of the season. Like I keep saying this. I said this to James from E20 months ago. There was like a conversation about Moyes in, Moyes out months ago on his channel, and I said there's no point talking about it because it will change. Like the situation is going to change 3 or 4 times between now and the end of the season, and he will be here the entire time. Same thing will happen. There won't be any fallout. Like this has been a horrendous game, but I guarantee you right now, nothing will change. Like I say, if he goes on some big losing streak, then maybe at that point the movement changes. But at this point, nothing will change. Nothing. It's just not what they do. They move unbelievably slowly at all times. There is no way this is going to change any of that. No way. No way. I'm thinking to myself, do you even get the classic Sean Whetstone puts out, oh, you've got a couple of whatever, blah, 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 like games left or whatever. No, I don't even think they'll do that. Yeah. David, please. David, please. No, you're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a huge losing streak. A huge losing streak, right? I'm saying if we lost this game, we lost Forest, we lost whatever other games were coming up, right? I don't know. Sullivan won't change this. This isn't a conversation about whether Moyes is doing well or not right now. I'm talking specifically about the way David Sullivan works. It will not change. It just won't. Sullivan has always moved incredibly slowly with managers. He likes not firing them. At one point, it was said he was proud of the fact he had never fired a manager. This was when Sam Allardyce was around. Even though he probably would have with Avram Grant had they not leaked out that Martin O'Neill was coming in. Right? He was proud of that fact. That was something that he prided himself on. We're in a situation where we're going to be, 8th or whatever it is. We're still in Europe. That's not enough to make David Sullivan move. That's not saying that's right. That's not saying that's wrong. Frankly, that's a completely separate conversation. I'm talking specifically about the way David Sullivan works here. This will not change that. It just won't. It's just not what he does. It's just not what he wants. It's just not what he does. We can have conversations about, well, I don't want to have that conversation very clearly, but we can have conversations about whether or not he should be here or who would we want and all this other sort of stuff. But you know. David. The thing I like about what David Moyes is doing in chat right now, I know a lot of you find it annoying, and I apologize on his part. The niche pools he's bringing out. Do you know what I mean? It's not even just like top player stuff. He's deep diving. He's spelunking into the bits to find some of these references, like the Ring Boy scandal with Pat Patterson. Crazy, crazy. Disagree. I disagree again. Like this, if they were so unhappy under Moyes, they would have left before the window happened. If they didn't want to come and join a Moyes team, they wouldn't have joined. That's not to say those things can't change, but what I'm saying is specifically, again, you're missing the point. I'm not saying he should. I'm saying specifically, David Sullivan will not change things. Completely different. This is not. Charlie Walsh is not saying, he's not in camera right now. What I'm saying is, he will not change things because David Sullivan doesn't like changing things. It's just the way he is. You know, it's got nothing to do with what I want or what I think. It's purely a David Sullivan call. And David Sullivan is slow. Pellegrini left way too late. Bilic left way too late. Sam Allardyce, you could argue, left way too late. Avram Grant left way too late. Have they ever had a manager that they haven't left way too late on sacking? Yeah, probably David Moyes the first time, and clearly they regretted it because they got him back. So there's no way David Sullivan will change this. It's just none. There's just none. Like even me, right, who obviously has certain opinions, right? Even I would prefer him to be proactive and do things if he's going to do things, but he won't. That's just not what he does. It's just not what he does. It's just not what he does. DC, just chill with the insults. I don't care about I don't care about if you say like, just don't insult people personally. It's all I care about. That's all I care about. Right, please. Look. Here's the thing. Here's why it's not. I almost did a video on this the other day, right? Because Geo messaged me. He was like, "Oh, I'm not going to do a video today." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." And I almost did a video on it at the time. Here's why I don't do it during watch-alongs. Because this is the moment where it's like the most reactive possible. Like we're in the moment of watching the match. I'm furious because we're losing 4-0 to Arsenal or 6-0 to Arsenal, right? And so like having those conversations in the moment when you're like incredibly angry is never like the useful time to have it. Like if I was on another channel and they asked me the opinion, then yeah, sure. But in this specific moment where we're watching the game, I don't feel like it's the right time to talk about it because no one can talk. Because we just can't have that conversation in a useful manner. Like I might do a video about it soon. Like it might be a situation which I do a video about it soon because right now, like now isn't the time for me. And also I wouldn't want to talk about it when I'm in a bad mood. I don't like reacting to things when I'm in a bad place. Like it's just not my vibe. The game is almost over. The game's like 30 seconds to go. I don't like doing it like in those little moments. So, you know. But that's just me. That's just me. Like the thing is, YouTube runs on reaction, right? YouTube, especially football YouTube, runs on reaction and reactive content. Oh, game's over. Christ. It's going to be over in a second here. YouTube runs on reactive content. The one thing about that I like about the watch along, although I am reacting, is I don't have to play into the reactive content side of it. And I don't have to sit here and give my thoughts on the game the second it happens, which is why I don't like doing player ratings either. There is the final whistle with 6-0 Arsenal, which is why I don't like doing player ratings. Similar situation here. So that's why. That's why I don't approach it. That's why I don't approach it in these things. Because it's like when I say something, I want to have thought it out properly and actually say it and believe in what I'm saying, as opposed to just like putting out a vibe thought, if you see what I'm saying. That's sort of where I'm at. I know that's difficult and annoying, but it is what it is. 6-0 is the 6-0 is the scoreline. I've just spammed the link into the live review, which will be live in a second with Geo. Go and have a wander, have a gander. Thank you for everyone for watching. Massively appreciate it. What an awful game of football. What a complete, utter travesty. Like, just horrendous. Just absolutely horrendous. HDU, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. We'll be live in just a second, but before that, thank you to Christopher, to GP, to Rice and Peace twice, to Billy, to Rocco, to GP, and to the Oxby for all your super chats. It really, really genuinely does help the channel out massively. And I appreciate you all for being here. It's been a horrible game. It's been a really, really, really terrible game. A really horrible one to watch. And frankly, I didn't want to be here. So I appreciate you all doing it with me. Because Jesus Christ, stress. Nottingham Forest. I won't be here for the next game. I'm actually away on holiday. I don't know what's going to happen. Geo said he's got some plans, so I don't know. If someone does end up doing a watch-along, watch it, get fully involved, support them 100% despite the absolute travesty we've just seen. But in between now and then, we do have many videos, including a live match review, which is going to be happening in a few seconds' time. There, once more, is the link to the live review. Go forth, click on that, get involved in the live chat, let the people know how you feel, and appreciate you all massively. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Download Match Bingo. Link in the description. Cheers, everyone. Bye.